Welcome to Screencast, Kind of Funny's only entertainment-based podcast where we come together and discuss movies, TV shows, and streaming services. We are recorded live every Friday at around 11:30. Oh, a late one today.
Sometime between we're recorded between 11 and 2.
Right.
Some of that, yeah. You guys get what you get.
But if you don't have time to watch us live, you can always catch the video on demand on YouTube or Rooster Teeth. Yeah, youtube.com/kindoffunny.
Here's what I'll say about Kevin this morning. Everyone, cut Kevin a break. I walked in today.
It's a high-strung
and he was
morning.
like, all of our printers and all of our laptops aren't working.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to go watch the Bad Boys for Life trailer 4 times.
Good. You should.
Really loud while you fix all that stuff. Because I love the trailer.
If you don't want to see our ugly mugs, you could get our audio on whatever favorite podcast streaming service you like. And if we're not on there, hit up Tim and let him know.
Yeah.
And he will put us there.
Yep.
Tim
gone today.
Sure.
Right? Oh, we'll get to that. I apologize. I forgot you had more. Go for it.
If you want to support us and keep this garbage truck rolling, you can go to patreon.com/kindoffunny and support at any tier there. If you do the $5 tier, it's the bronze tier, you can submit responses like many of you guys do all the time. I am Kevin Coelho. To my immediate right, one Nick Scarpino, the man with the 3-fingered review.
There it is right there.
There it is.
And there's a lot of good trailers this week that I think are going to hit. Some are going to hit up here. Most of them are going to be just right in the middle here.
Yeah.
Right in the middle here.
Yeah, everyone's favorite.
Yeah. Right here?
I don't think anyone's... the trailers that we watched will hit right here.
Yeah.
Maybe the Christmas one. But I think that's actually going to be fairly entertaining.
Yeah.
From the looks of it. I like that Imogen Poots. How do you say her last name?
I have no idea who you're talking about.
No idea.
The main character in that, what's it called? Black Christmas? Dark Christmas?
Black Christmas.
Black Christmas,
The main character in that, her name's Imogen, I think Poots.
It's a good name. I like that name.
It's
a lot.
weird. She was in a movie I liked a lot, but I can't remember what it is now.
But before we go more into that, to your right, my left, one Joey, the movie bros herself, Noelle.
Hello.
Joester.
What's going on?
Oh, just
life?
about to jump into some housekeeping.
Some movies?
Here's the housekeeping.
Oh, her.
Maybe Joester has
From
more.
Need for Speed.
Now I want to see. Let me see.
No, that's not the movie I'm
this?
thinking of for her. You know her. She's been in stuff.
I have no idea who this is.
All right, I'll find them. Go ahead. I'll find the touchstone while we're doing
a
housekeeping.
little quick housekeeping before we jump into more stuff. Greg and Fran are in Texas doing some sort of
Borderlands
3
launch party.
Yeah.
They are doing
We'll be
launch
hosting
party,
their
baby.
stream here.
Hell yeah.
Around, I think, 4 o'clock our time.
today.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so I wrote, can you find them?
If you're at the Borderlands 3 launch party,
Find
you
them.
can
Let them
probably
know we
find
sent
them.
you.
It
If you
probably
do-
won't be that hard if there's a stage. I would just keep an
But
eye out on
I don't
there.
know where in Texas it is.
I
Is it
don't either.
Dallas?
Yeah.
Okay, it's in Dallas. Anyone in Dallas, go and find them.
If you find them, just send Kevin a picture.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'd love that. Please tweet at me a photo of them, preferably without their consent.
Yeah. Definitely get them eating or bathing.
Next thing I want to bring attention to is at kindoffunny.com store. We have the Connect. I'm still pimping the Connect 3 and 5.
got it.
Hell yeah, you are.
Between 3 and 5 shirt and the blue hoodie, which is back with a vengeance.
Back.
Yeah, people are excited about that.
It's very exciting.
Also, I want to do a shout out to our Patreon producers, Al Tribesman.
Oh wait, I have to do the Predator voice.
It's good.
Andy does it better.
And David
The
Mintel.
mind freak. Street magician. Joey, if you're
Sorry,
gonna
I
be on the show, Joey,
I expect you
gotta
to
do
do
the
that.
mind freak.
The thing is,
Mind freak.
I did it. I did whisper it.
But it was so late.
I know. I was like, am I
It
supposed
was
to
like
do?
nobody wants a birthday cake when it's not
I
their
didn't know.
birthday,
I didn't realize
Joey.
that there was a call and response
There's
aspect
always,
to
it's
it.
just, we're just kind of feeling the wave together here.
And then shout outs to we're sponsored by Postmates and HelloFresh. More about that later. First,
Exciting.
let's discuss what we watched this week. Nick, you watch anything good this week?
I finally finished Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Wow.
And it, I'll be honest, I don't know if I finished it. It's possible that I've skipped a few seasons in there because I was like, I don't think I watched 7 seasons of the show, but I've seen all of them at one point. I decided to go back and watch.
That's cool.
them.
That's rad. I didn't know
And
you were doing this.
I didn't know that. It was one of those moments where I was like, I know how the series ends, and the series, if you're not familiar with the ending, is it ends on a very, very low, very, very beautiful note where all throughout the 7 seasons of Star Trek, the officers, the people that run the ship, Riker, Deanna Troi, Worf, Data, and Geordi LaForge, they all get together for a weekly poker game, but Picard never comes. And the last episode, the very last scene, is he comes and they're like, "Oh, Captain, is there something wrong?" And he's like, "I was just hoping I could join you guys tonight." And he sits down and they let him shuffle and he's like, "I should have done this a long time ago." And then it's the last shot. It's just him dealing the cards while we pull out, and the whole you see all the main characters sitting around the table just like playing cards with each other. And
so beautiful.
I knew that was going to be the case. And when we got to that scene, I was like, "Am I on the last episode? Shit!" And then I looked. I was like, "Oh, I got one more left," and it wasn't. It was the world's worst behind the scenes retrospective starring Jonathan Frakes, who plays Will Riker.
Oh, okay, yeah,
and it's the cheesiest.
Is he just talking about the chair thing?
No, he talks about a lot of the tropes that went into it, or the things that became things in Star Trek, like the Picard straightening, or he didn't talk about his chair thing. I think people didn't notice that till years later.
Yeah, years
But this
later.
is like as they were filming the last episode, he was doing this behind the scenes thing. It's the cheesiest, most 90s thing you've ever seen in your life. Where he's like, "I'm sitting in wardrobe. Do you know what wardrobe is? Let me tell you." And everyone's like,
So interesting.
He's weird.
He's very weird. Joey, do you know about the chair thing?
No, I don't. I don't know really anything
There's a
about
super
Star
cut
Trek.
of it we can find.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'll just explain it. Will Riker, first commander of the Enterprise, he's like number one. He always calls him number one because he's like the number one in charge after the captain. Every single time he sits in a chair,
Every single time.
for some reason, he instead of just walking to the side and sitting down, because he's so tall, he just loops his leg over it and sits down.
It's
And there's
terrible.
a
It's
super
so
cut
weird.
of him doing this for 7 seasons straight. Every fucking time
And
he
no
walks
one
into
really noticed until
nobody
after?
noticed it.
Yeah.
It's
I feel like
similar to like the Picard. Every time Picard stands up, he straightens his thing, which is like that has a name too. There's all these little tiny things that the actors had to do because either they just didn't notice they were doing it until too long, and that just became a habit, or because the uniforms were fucked up or whatever.
I like to think Will Riker was like, "No, this is my thing. I'm never
This
going to
is
explain
a
it."
character choice.
Yeah, it seems like it because some of the times in the supercut you'll see and it's like that was difficult for him to pull off.
There's a couple of them that you're like, you didn't need to do that.
Yeah.
Like
No,
it's actually
no.
harder to do that than sitting like a normal human being. But so I finished that, and then I started watching a series on Netflix called Rust Valley Restorations.
Okay, it sounds like a you series.
Yeah.
I like
It is
that. Yeah.
a bunch of guys up in Canada, up in the Rust. I guess there's an area called Rust Valley in Canada, and it's just about a guy who's trying to get his restoration shop off the ground. He's been a car collector. I think he had a contracting business that he did quite well with, and then he has
he's
spent
living his
basically all
dream.
of his money buying used like old junked out cars, and he has 400 of them on a lot, and it's about him and his kid. Like basically his kid's
400?
like, "We are starting this business or you're gonna go bankrupt,
Yeah.
so we need to start selling cars now." And so it's like him not wanting to restore stuff or like not wanting to sell stuff. It's fascinating,
That
but
sounds like some shit I'd really get into.
you'll really like it, I think. And you know, it's old classic
Yeah.
cars, but it's very weird because up until this point I watch a lot of Motor Trend still, and I'm somewhat familiar. I'm not a gearhead by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm somewhat familiar with the old Chevelles or, you know, the old Dodgers or the old Mopars, whatever. They had different names in Canada. And different bias. So I'm like, whoa. I was like, what's a Beaumont? And it's like, so I'm learning this whole new education of like what the American cars with the Chevys, Fords, and stuff did when they were manufactured in Canada, the differences between those cars, the brands, how they were marketed. It's just cool to see.
Different countries
Plus, they
are
say
weird,
A a
you
lot.
know?
But they're all crazy. I've come to the conclusion that anyone that works on cars or restores cars for a living is a little crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just a little.
Yeah, especially, I mean, if you buy a ton of cars and like you have to be kind of forced into doing like, hey, we're going to lose all our money because you've spent it all on these junkers.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought it was a very fascinating series. I'm sure I've watched other real relevant movies. I just can't remember any of them now.
No worries.
I had to start writing stuff down because I could just never remember.
Yeah.
I always write stuff down. I started doing that as my thing.
I apologize. There is one. I watched a documentary on Netflix about steroid use in baseball, and it is
interesting.
fucking hilarious. Barrett, can you Google it for me? Just put steroids, Netflix, baseball, Alex Rodriguez. You'll find it. It's called Screwball, I think.
So many
Screwball.
words.
Let me look it up. It is
Was it good?
awesome.
Yeah, screwball.
And yes.
see it? Can you
So
go to
here's
images?
so this documentary is narrated by the people that were in it. It is about the steroid scandal that affected a bunch of Major League Baseball players, including Alex Rodriguez, which led to his suspension for like 100 and some odd games, and MLB's kind of MLB's role in it and how originally they were like, we're not we're
You guys are
fine.
hitting a lot of home runs. Keep going.
Because evidently the home run race between Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa really helped bring back a lot of money into the league after the strike, all this jazz. But it's told from the perspective primarily of the guy, the doctor, Tony Bosch, who was the one that was giving them the steroids. Ooh. And how he was not really a real doctor, but he had a medical license, but it was from like Belize, and how like
right.
he, and so but it's fascinating because it paints the whole picture of how all that came about and how steroid use is propagated in both just mostly in sports, but also in just like private industry where you can go and quote unquote to like these youth facilities where they help
facilities.
Well, they call them like rejuvenation.
Yeah.
So you regain your youth,
Yeah.
and largely the way you do that is just a fucking bucket of testosterone and a bucket of anabolic steroids and HGH. But it works because people are like, "Fuck, I feel like I'm 20." And the people, of course, in this are just utter idiots who. Are just, it never ceases to amaze me the people that have zero scruples. Like when you hit that crossroad of a human being that has no morals or scruples, a little bit of knowledge, and then and then is just too stupid to realize what he's doing is eventually going to lead to his downfall. Yeah. You get hilarity. Now I'll say this: one of the reasons that I love this is because they do dramatic reenactments.
Oh yes,
but they do them
little kids.
So as the guy's talking, it's little kids, dressed as them.
That's Joey has like the IMDb page open.
So that guy, that's the kid that plays A-Rod, and it has a. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize you were touchscreen. It has a purpose. At first, you're like, this is off-putting. But the purpose is, as you start to realize, the reason why not the FDA, the feds came after, like, what's the drug enforcement agency?
No.
The DEA?
The DEA came after him was not because of baseball players. They're like, we don't give a fuck if a bunch of millionaires are going to roid each other up and like play baseball. It's because he started people started realizing he was the one that gave him to like Manny Ramirez and A-Rod. And so parents started bringing their kids to him. And so he got popped because they were like, we actually don't care so much that you're giving them to adults. It's that you're giving them to high school kids now.
That's crazy.
And that's why you have to. And so that's
Dang.
why you, by the end of it, and I just kind of spoiled it in a little bit, but the story is so fascinating, it's worth watching. But by the end of it, that's why they use the kids.
Whoa.
Because to show you that like kids are seeing this in a different perspective, and they don't get it, that they're going to start taking growth hormones in a time when their bodies are still growing, and it'll severely fuck up their endocrine system and like some of their potentially organs. It was fascinating, but they're also fucking idiots. Like, it's like watching Firefest. You're like, how stupid do you have to be to have just gone through with this whole thing?
Sounds really good. It's on Netflix, huh?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. And it's so absurd because the guy, even himself, Tony Bosch, the doctor, he's an absurd character. He's just, they're all completely ridiculous. The guy that blew the whistle on him is a fucking moron, but it's hilarious. And it's like, and then it's told from the perspective of like the guy that wrote all these stories on him, and they were like, he's just the guy that's actually writing for like the Miami Times, or whatever. It's just, he just shakes his head most of the time, like, how dumb do you have to be to do this shit? But they got away with it for a really long time, so it is what it is.
Well, I mean, until it was affecting kids, like I get that.
That's when they he kind of skated by, and he obviously had a lot of problems as well. Like, a lot of these guys turn to crime or turn to these things that are not exactly on the up and up because they have lifestyles that they need to keep up. Or at one point, he was like, I have $60,000 worth of child payments, drinking bills, and cocaine. And the guy's like, how much of that was cocaine? He was like, it was most of it. It was cocaine. The child support was like $4,000. The cocaine was like $56,000 a month rather. So anyway, I highly recommend this, especially if you're a baseball fan and you don't know the ins and outs of the story. I think it's very, very fascinating.
Oh, that's cool.
Super interesting.
Joe, did you watch anything of note?
I did. Let me pull up my notes because I don't forget. So I'm going to start with the older things that I started rewatching. I started rewatching Supernatural because I realized I'm not current on it.
15 seasons.
I know.
Yeah, and you got a lot to catch up.
I've watched it all through like season probably 8 or 9 before, maybe 10. But I can't really remember what happens in like anything after season 5, so that's where I started again. I just really like it, and I think this next one is the last season.
Yes. Yeah.
So I kind of want to just catch up and watch that and see how it ends.
So possibly up to 10 seasons.
Yeah. But I
that's
feel
cool.
like that's such
I
an
like
easy
it.
thing to like
Absolutely
throw in the
binge. There's so much-
background.
yeah.
Especially because I've watched like 3 or 4 of them in the middle.
Also, I don't think this is a show that requires like deep attention.
No,
and
I was
you to
doing
notice the
artsy
minute
craftsy stuff
Oh, yeah.
while I was doing it. So I started doing that. Oh, that was close. I started watching Jane the Virgin, which just ended.
Interesting.
Season 3 or 4. I really like Gina Rodriguez, so I was like, I I've watched only episodes here and there. So I started that from the beginning. That's another one that's like very easy to just put on in the background. And
just have on. Sitcoms, right?
Yeah. It's like the telenovela style, and it's really fun.
It was, I believe, they aped the story from a Latin telenovela.
Probably, yeah. Because they have like the narrator line and stuff like that, all that kind of stuff. I watched season 3 of The Good Place to prep for season 4.
Sure.
It's a lot. It's so interesting how each season of The Good Place feels wildly different than the one before it.
I feel like I enjoyed the first half of the first season, and then I've just been watching it since then because I want it to be.
I thought the whole first season was really good.
I feel like it loses it. Anyways, but I'm gonna watch the 4th season when it comes. Yeah.
Did not expect the last episode to hit me as hard as it did. There was some real emotional moments in there.
But I feel like a lot of those emotional moments come out of they're created for that episode where you're like, we haven't seen this before, and it's still I agree.
All built up.
It hit me too.
Yeah. So that was really good. Let me look at my notes. We'll talk about this more later, I think, maybe. The new season of Great British Bake Off starting. So that's on Netflix.
It's a news story.
Yeah. So we'll talk about the episodic nature of it. But it's just such a good, wholesome show. It
makes me want to eat.
Really?
That's my only problem. Because I watch it and I go, I got to get something sweet. I got to get a piece of cake in me or something. I just look at these people making stuff.
Did you rewatch the old seasons?
I started to.
Okay.
But the problem is my entry point was not the Mary Berry seasons. It was the newer ones. And I was like, I kind of just like this better because the show just looks better.
Right.
It's shot more beautifully. I think the hosts at this point, I just like the vibe of the new host, which I know is sacrilege because Mary Berry's a god.
Paul Hollywood.
Paul Hollywood's still in it though.
I know, but their dynamic together, I feel like is so much better than the dynamic he has as the new woman.
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like the and I forget the woman's name who was his counterpart. I feel like she's got a little bit more to say than Mary Berry though. I feel like she pushes him a little bit more. Mary Berry was always the grandmother, and Paul Hollywood was the grandson that was just acting up, and she's like, oh, he'll figure it out. This new one is like, shut up, Paul. You're dumb.
I like the old hosts better too, Sue and.
I can't remember. I don't mind the hosts now. They're always just a little.
Noel is so kooky, and that's even saying something because I feel like he's more reserved in this than he's been in anything else.
Yeah.
I don't hate them by any means, but I think it's just gonna take more getting used to. The more of the new stuff I watch, I assume the more I like it.
To me, the power of the show really is just that it's so fun to watch these people bake.
It is. It's here's this accountant who just bakes these crazy cakes and pastries.
And at the end of the day, you get
I don't understand the appeal of the show.
The stakes are the appeal of the show to me is that the stakes are only as high as look, these people love this thing. Mm-hmm. Most of them are not trying to be professional bakers. Whereas you see you watch Top Chef and these people legitimately want to win Top Chef because it's such a big accolade that they can go and start restaurants and and have a bigger, they have more versatility. Whereas most of these people are I'm I'm an accountant and I just love making puff pastries. And then they win and they're like, cool. And they catch up with them what have you been doing? Just making puff pastries. Yeah. With the exception of there's been a few people that have turned it into a career.
Be I'm not doing this.
Some people realize they're starting to realize that. But I also, the stakes are just I watch a lot of reality TV here in the States. I watch Below Deck, and it's mostly just made up bullshit. It's made up drama that they put these people together and write these storylines and stuff.
Bachelor in Paradise, man.
Perfect example.
It's on every week.
So it's nice. It's nice to watch a reality show where
twice?
Bachelor in Paradise is Monday and Tuesday nights.
Christ.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
For 2 hours each. It's a lot.
No wonder I feel like I'm always watching it. Yeah. That's just terrible.
Panzer G2 in the chat says, what's Below Deck? The quick answer to that is it's everything. It's everything.
And let's move on. Joey, anything else you're watching?
The last thing I watched was Falling in Love on Netflix.
What is that?
This is a Netflix rom-com starring one Christina Milian, who is
this is the one with the house?
2000s pop star. Yeah, so she plays a architect, maybe
something like that
thing that I don't really care about.
Let's call her civil engineer.
Yeah,
I'm
something
watch
like that.
Shit out of this weekend.
In San Francisco, and she works for a startup. Here. Yeah, it's here. Yeah. Weird city shots, but
did she get fired?
No, it's a startup, so it just disappears.
Oh,
so then common. She she threw out that little intro part. She gets a pop-up for you could win an inn, like a bed and breakfast in New Zealand.
In love.
Yes. In New Zealand.
I just got
and
it,
so
sorry.
then after she gets laid off or whatever.
It closes.
Yeah. Then she gets a notification that she wins this inn, and she's very excited. She's like, I don't have anything else going for me. I'm going to move to New Zealand. And then she gets there, and
It's all
like,
broke down.
yeah,
it's
super
terrible.
broke. And then it's
Good day.
That's
Is it one
the
of the
story.
Hemsworth brothers?
No, but it's another Australian guy.
Adam
Even though
Demos.
it's set in New Zealand, seems kind of weird. He's really attractive.
We haven't quite. He's not bad looking at all. We haven't quite evolved as a species to realize that the New Zealanders and the Aussies are different people. But you know what? They're all
like they
just so
get real
charmingly
mad,
lovely.
too.
I know,
They're all
they
just
are
so
so
charmingly
lovely.
lovely that
They
that's
are.
what. Listen, if you're out there, if you're a Kiwi or you're an Aussie and you're out there and you're
I think
thinking,
Kiwi's not a good term.
I thought it was a fine term.
I think,
I think it's
I don't know.
really?
really. I
There
thought
was
it
a
term of
movie
endearment.
with some bridesmaid or no, not bridesmaids. I think they were like, she like stops them and she's like, you know, it's not a good term, right?
Yeah, my apologies.
No, no,
If
I
you're
mean,
a
I
New
don't think it's a
Zealander
bad
or
term.
someone from Australia, just know that the reason we mix you up is because we find both of you to be just lovely human beings, just charming and lovely. That's
Yeah.
why.
So yeah, did you like it?
Yeah, I would say on my list of Netflix rom-coms, it's obviously To All the Boys I've Loved Before.
Clearly.
No, I mean, yes.
And then a
gotta watch that movie
significant
at some point.
margin drop, I feel like. Then I think Something Great with Gina Rodriguez is my next one.
That was a good one.
yeah.
But
This
it is
one
a
might
far
be-
cry away
Yeah,
from
yeah,
To
yeah.
All the Boys.
And then
There's-
it might be this one. It might be that Sierra Burgess one. I don't know.
There's a new one that popped up.
It's not this one.
They're like Eyes for You or something like that, or like
I
it's
don't know
another.
what that is.
It's another high school one.
Oh no, okay, that's a
Hold
different
on, I'll
one.
find it. You guys can go on.
Oh.
There's-
Is this the one about the really tall girl? Did you see that one? That
Yeah,
trailer
that's-
is
I believe
really
that's
bad.
called
No.
Tall Girl, and like I was like, should I put this in so that Joey could talk about it?
Well,
'Cause
first
that
off,
trailer looks
It does
awful.
not
we
look
need
good.
to talk about The Perfect Date because that was a great one too. The Noah Centineo
Oh yeah, I
one.
did like that
yeah.
one.
That was fantastic. I don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. They're all the same.
I'm
And
gonna-
then I'm Not Legend also says Set It Up, which I always kind of forget about because it was so much
that's the one
earlier
where
than the other
like
ones.
the two assistants are trying to set up their
with Tay Diggs.
yeah.
That one's also
Tay
really
Diggs
good.
is such a cool name.
How the fuck
He's
did they
such a
get
cool human
Christina
being.
Milian? She was like, yeah,
I
I'll
have
do it.
no idea. Apparently,
not?
that's just what she's
I'm
doing.
gonna move on to the list of stuff that I've watched.
Okay.
So I was on a plane and I watched quite a bit. I was on several planes.
Oh, geez.
Way too many planes for how little I traveled. I think it was 5 planes total. Doesn't matter.
That's a lot of planes.
Yeah, it was a lot of planes. The first thing I watched was Greta.
Oh, the scary
Oh.
one.
It was awful.
Yeah.
That's
What
a bummer because I
terrible-
wanted to see it.
The actors look like they'd be like they're all
Yeah.
cool actors, and it's just like none of them were good. I don't understand. Like I've seen them all in other stuff,
Yeah.
and they're great. They weren't good in this.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
looked kind of cool though. The trailer for Greta.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked really cool.
That's the one where the older woman is like kind of helps
Leaving-
the younger woman, but
which-
then starts to stalk her and like
Yeah.
She's
trip out on
leaving
her.
purses everywhere and
Yeah.
like stalking. It's not a good movie though. Don't watch it.
Okay.
Stay away from it. Unless you're on a plane, which is the situation I found myself in.
Yeah.
In which case, like, all right, whatever. Be disappointed, you know? Don't take my advice. Then I also watched Hellboy, the new one.
Yeah,
Oh man.
that one got torn apart.
It's because it's real bad.
How?
So they were like, hey, you know what Guillermo del Toro did? Like, yeah, it was really cool. Let's try to do that, but not be as good.
Yeah,
And
That
that's
one-
what they did.
Yeah,
like,
that's
they,
unfortunate.
They redo the scene where he like comes into the world for the first and they do it terribly. And it's like, this is worse than the one that already happened. Why would you?
That's
like, this is shot
unfortunate.
poorly.
That's
Anyways.
so bad. That's so sad.
And
It's
it,
bad
like-
for David Harbour because I like David Harbour
Yeah.
a lot.
I don't know if I liked him in it though.
No,
Really?
I mean,
Yeah,
probably
well, just
not.
like because you can be a bad movie with a bad plot and
have good
still have a
acting.
good actor, but it just there's so much makeup on him and he like has trouble talking. He's the sheriff from
Yeah, Ron Perl.
Yeah.
I think Ron Perlman had the same problem with the makeup when he did the role.
But I felt like it's something about his felt better.
Maybe. That's unfortunate. Well, guess what? It tanked, so they're not making another one anytime soon. Hellboy's probably dead.
Then I rewatched Captain Marvel.
What'd you think? What'd you think upon second viewing?
I didn't like it as much the second time,
Yeah.
but it's fine.
That's a lot. Happens to me a
It's an
lot with the
okay
Marvel
movie.
movies, where you're like, okay,
Good for one, and then
yeah, it was fun, and then you go back and you're like, it's mid tier.
I disagree. There's a lot of great Marvel movies.
Well, no, there's a
especially
lot that are
Ant-Mans.
fun to rewatch,
Yeah.
but the Ant-Mans are.
Amazing.
Like Ant-Man
They're
2,
good.
I was
They're
like,
so
this is
good.
fun, but then you
I
get
love-
about halfway through and you're like, man, the ghost character and all that
I
stuff.
feel like
whatever.
Ant-Man is like
I
a
really enjoy Ant-Man.
very solid
1 and
mid
2.
tier.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, that is just because the MCU ranking is so. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Par excellence.
Then I started watching The Righteous Gemstones.
What's The Righteous Gemstones?
I saw
The
this on
Righteous
HBO the
Gemstones
other
is
day.
a new HBO show by something McBride.
Oh, is that on?
Yeah, it started. There's 3
I gotta
episodes
start
out right
watching
now.
it.
Phenomenal.
Is it great?
Oh, it's so good.
This is Danny McBride, Adam
Yeah, Danny
Devine, John Goodman.
John Goodman.
And it's, this looks like it
It's
has everything for me.
So good. It's very enjoyable. I hate that it's episodic just because like
you wanna watch
it's
it
so
all?
good that I'm ready for the next episode. What was cool is we watched it after we had come back from our trip and we did another trip to Calistoga and we were hanging out and like that's what we did for those like 4 hours because the first episode's really long. It was
Are they
awesome.
hour-long episodes?
I think so.
I would imagine
they might
so.
be 45 minutes.
Okay.
It's so funny
But
though.
the first one's like an hour and a half.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
I love
I could be wrong
HBO
about that,
shows
though.
so much, and I think that they still make some of the best programming out there. But the fact that they don't release all of them at once is unfortunate because I don't think I finished the last 2 seasons of Ballers. I think I was there current, and then I had a trip that came up, and then I totally forgot about it.
But for me, like that's not necessarily a bad thing because like the waiting is intense.
Yeah.
and
then
now
they dominate the
it's-
conversation for so long,
Right.
especially with something like
with
Game of
season
Thrones.
5 coming and being the final season. Like now we can watch everything because I
Yeah.
only watched the first season, and I want to watch the rest of Ballers. So I might binge that and then watch the last season and get all excited.
Just get into it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Next thing I watched, I tried to watch Dark Crystal. Just could not get into it.
It doesn't look.
It's
Like
Everyone
something I
says it's
wanna do.
really good, but
it's
it's just
beautiful.
not my thing.
I think I need to rewatch the movie because I just
It's hard to
couldn't-
get through.
I cannot care about anything that's going on. I watched, I think the whole first episode, and I was just like, this isn't for me. So I switched it over to The Naked Director, and I don't like this show.
Yeah?
I watched all of it. I watched all of season 1. Yeah, I think it's just season 1 out right now. And it's just, I don't understand why I kept watching. I kept wanting it to be good.
Yeah.
So many of the best friends recommended it.
You're so
but
much
it
more
just-
forgiving than I am.
Yeah.
I'll watch the first episode of something. If I get 5 minutes in and it doesn't hit me, I'm like, nope, done. Not for me.
I kept
you won't
feeling-
even finish the first
Oh,
episode.
I'll just bail out. Right, it feels so good to just bail out. I don't need to finish this shit. If you can't get me interested in within the first 10 minutes of your show, you're not going to get me by the end of the episode. That's not going to happen.
There was just something about the editing in that, and I think maybe it's because it's foreign.
Yeah, it's Japanese, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
We're just
have a different style.
like they just felt like they were doing bigger jumps, where it's like, what happened to this thing?
Yeah.
What happened to this thing that you like the whole first 3 episodes about? And now you're just doing this other thing, or first 2 episodes. So for whatever reason, I continued just in hopes that like I would
Something
enjoy
was
it
gonna
more.
get
Yeah.
you at some
Some of the
point.
characters are cool, and I like the relationships.
Yeah.
And it just was so highly recommended. I'm disappointed in you all.
Yeah. Before we move on, I want to give a quick shout out. I was looking for the name of the Netflix rom-com that I was thinking about. And so I went to this list that says 20 new romantic comedies to have on your radar in 2019. The top, this is from OprahMag.com.
Oh, yeah.
This is
I
written
love
by,
Oprah.
This is written by Michelle Darrisaw. And the first one is Falling in Love. Okay, which I'm like, cool, I'm gonna watch that. Next one is The Last Summer, which may or may not be the one that I was thinking of.
I love that you didn't figure it out.
The third one is Plus One, which I have no idea. Oh, that's the one with Jack Quaid, which looks cute.
Which is already out.
Release date June 14th, 2019.
Yeah,
so
sounds
yeah,
like
it's
it.
already out.
Didn't hear about that
The
one.
fourth one is The Sun is Also a Star, which is a movie that I thought I might want to see as
I
well.
wanted to
We
see
thought about that.
vaguely wanted to see it too.
But then I'm going to give a questionable shout out to number 5, Under the Silver Lake.
Definitely not,
Not
a
a
rom-com.
rom-com.
No, not at all.
Not a rom-com.
Not a rom-com at
in
all.
any stretch of the fucking imagination
That's
is this a
terrible list.
rom-com.
We'll walk away from it.
So clearly, this writer did not watch all these movies. She just saw the
Oprah
preview for this and was like,
Magazine,
"Oh, it must be a
come on."
rom-com." If you're going, I dare you to go to the Under the Silver Lake thinking it's a rom-com. Go for it.
Take your significant other with you, but don't
her
tell
it's
him.
great. Tell her
Don't
it's
tell
just a
him.
lovely little indie rom-com starring
That movie
Andrew
is
Garfield
fucked up.
and Riley Keough, and just see how she reacts about 20 minutes in.
A couple more things on my list that I want to go over. This next one caught me off guard real hard.
Okay.
I went in being like, I don't want to watch this. Paul was like, let's check it out. Carnival Row. So
Yeah.
Orlando
Is this another
Bloom and
HBO one?
no, it's an Amazon Prime one.
Amazon Prime.
What's the girl's name?
I don't know. Let's find out.
She's got real strong eyebrows.
They're Cara Delevingne.
That's it. You nailed it. That's it.
Keep going. Sorry. I got a package being delivered at my house. I got to just dial in. Keep going. It's fine.
Okay. I really, really enjoyed it. It's like a, I don't know, 17th century world where like
Orlando Bloom coming back. I'm into that.
Orlando Bloom is great in it. Yeah, where it's like mythical creatures live alongside humans, and like they're all like immigrants, and like it's just really cool. All of the first season is great. Really enjoyed it. It ends and it's like, man, I want season 2. So totally caught me off guard, and can't recommend it enough. It was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll throw it on my list. My ever-growing list.
But the problem is, it's a time. What is it called?
Period piece?
Period piece. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not usually.
That's where you lose Joester.
I know.
And then I started watching Dairy Girls.
So many people have recommended this to me for so long, and I just...
It's very good.
Really?
It's so good.
Okay, give me the pitch. Give me your pitch on it. How about that?
Just high school kids, a bunch of... I think it's 5 high school girls or 4 high school girls and 1 boy at an all-girls Catholic school. Mm-hmm. And it's just them living in the middle of the Troubles, you know, Ireland, and the issues that they had.
Yeah.
And it's phenomenal. It's very, very difficult to understand them.
Subtitle one?
Yeah. Because they're Irish.
But like, I feel like they're going extra hard.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times the main character's face is like super like, and it's like, you're trying to make this difficult.
Yeah.
You're trying, you know that word isn't said that way by any stretch of the imagination.
Hey man,
but
shout out to people who mispronounce words on purpose. It's fun. It's an art form.
Yeah, it sure is.
Renaissance.
But Dairy Girls is so good. Very, very enjoyable. It's 2 seasons. It's British, so there's 6 episodes, like series. Third one is coming soonish.
Sweet.
Yeah. We also watch It Chapter 2, which we'll talk about later. It's good. All right.
Yeah.
Good, yeah. Now it's time for the news.
News.
Our first news story.
Am I supposed to say something with that one too?
No.
Okay.
That one was just free flow.
Nick's actually not supposed to say anything. It hurts Barrett's feelings.
I actually liked that one this time, though.
Oh,
Thank you.
Yeah. Changing it
Good
up.
luck keeping me away from the mic. Good luck.
Our first news story, one that I don't think any of us are super interested, but I'm putting in there because people give me shit when I don't talk about news stories that I think like, you know, that are like relevant, I guess. I don't know. Sci-fi video game franchise and book series Metro 2033 is getting a movie adaptation. There's really no information further than that. There's no directors, no dates. I've got some stuff here about the Metro 2033. I know some people like it. I feel like that the last game came out, wasn't a big deal.
Yeah,
know?
I mean,
There's
this
like
is not going to be a
crabs
huge
or something.
deal.
Yeah.
I don't think if
will
for
it
anyone,
actually get made?
probably maybe
Video game movies, man. Like,
but I'm sure
I feel
it'll
like-
get made with a smaller budget, and it probably will be a slightly limited release, and it probably won't be all that great.
Yeah.
But for those of you out there thinking that the Metro 2033 movie is going to be the first video game adaptation to movie that really breaks open the floodgates, you're gonna have to think again. It's not gonna be.
I don't disagree with you.
Sorry, it's hard to spoil everyone's expectations.
Are you spoiling them, or are you just...
Setting them,
Yes.
tempering them, as they say.
Moving on to our next story. Cobra Kai Season 1, now available for streaming for free on YouTube with ads.
Now I'll say this: if you haven't watched the first season of Cobra, now I fucked up. I haven't watched the second season yet.
Well, I got some news for you.
Great. What is it?
Well, let me get through. For a limited time, the entire first season of Cobra Kai is available on streams for free on YouTube. YouTube is binging the first season of Karate Kid from behind the paywall until September 12th. And YouTube will release Cobra Kai Season 2 episodes weekly, also available for free with ads.
I'm so in.
September 24th, I want to say.
Fucking A.
According to
Do
YouTube, it's
it
making
earlier
the
so I can
series.
download them all.
For your trip?
Can you download them all for YouTube? Can you do
No,
that?
You have to
starting September
You have
11th.
Prime, premium.
Yeah,
Prime,
if
right?
you have the premium.
Well, then I
Yeah.
don't need
But then
the-
you don't
I
need.
wouldn't
They
need the
wouldn't have
free.
to for free.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just
Use
do
it for a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you right now, Cobra Kai, I have no idea how season 2 is. I haven't seen the reception of it because it kind of was a flash in the pan for season 1,
Yeah.
for me at least. But season 1 is so good. It's so good. And I can't imagine they fucked up season 2. So go watch it. It's great.
You have until September 12th.
Great.
And then it'll maybe go weekly. The article was unclear. And then season 2 will start coming out. Also maybe weekly. Unclear.
A lot of
But like what's
uncertainty for a
important
news
is you've got a
segment.
limited amount of time to watch this, and people have said for a long time this is a good show. So
People are saying season 2 is nuts. I can't tell if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm reading it as a good thing.
Our next news story, one that I'm extremely excited for.
Oh.
Start your nuclear doomsday clocks. HBO Watchmen's just got a premiere date.
Yeah,
Ooh,
buddy.
When is it?
October 20th, 2019. Right around the corner. I can't wait. I'm very excited. I still have no idea what the show is. It sounds like it's a total reimagining of stuff where they're changing the story. I'm excited. I'm in.
Yeah.
I hope this is good. HBO doesn't steer you wrong most days, you know?
Yeah.
Except for the ending of the last season, you know, of shows.
You gotta let it go.
Yeah, I never will. Nick, you interested at all for this Watchmen?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch the shit out of this. Definitely. In fact, I've asked my wife to please not cancel HBO so that I can watch this. Now, again,
That was very sincere sounding.
as to whether or not she listens and or
Follows through on that?
That's up to her.
Not a chance.
She is an island all to her own, and one day I'll just go and it won't be there, and we just don't ask questions. It's gone. The war continues.
Well, that'd be a bummer. Do you have an iPad?
No. I
Okay.
don't. I have a phone.
No, you don't want to watch on your phone.
I watch
That's
a lot of stuff on my phone.
Yeah?
Yeah. So here's what I do on the reg, as the kids say. My wife will be watching something like the Real Housewives of whatever god awful city these horrible human beings are from.
Potomac?
Yeah.
Sure. Like she
Is
would
that
usually
really a show?
Usually
I think
LA and
it's
New
a new
York,
one.
I think, are the two that she watches a lot.
Yeah. Because she and I split because she watches LA, New York, and I watch Orange County and Jersey.
Yeah.
Do you get together and talk about what's happening in?
Whenever I see her, we usually talk about it.
And so I will, she'll watch that on the big TV, and I'll pretend to watch YouTube videos or other series like streaming as I'm actually watching it as well. But I can't let her know that.
Sure.
Because Kevin, we can't let them win.
No.
We can't
I'll
let them
never
win.
watch Bachelor in Paradise. Never.
I
Regardless
don't
of how much it's on.
understand.
And how much I care about that one guy.
The
Good.
appeal
John Paul
of the
Jones?
show.
Yeah.
I don't get it. But I also
John Paul
haven't watched.
Jones is just such a lovable idiot.
He seems
He's
stupid.
so dumb. He's very dumb.
He's tanking real fast, though. I didn't love his last couple
I didn't
episodes.
watch this last episode.
He had
But yeah,
some,
like he had the super rebellious fight where he goes up to the
Yeah,
guy
him
and
and
won't
Derek.
listen to him.
Yeah. Lost a lot of good graces in that one.
Really? Derek's not a bad person?
I think Derek's fairly boring. But
But he was
John
getting-
Paul Jones was just like, bro, what was that about? Why are you just like coming at him randomly about this? Also, had no idea Derek had a podcast before John Paul Jones made a big deal about it. So now they're getting a ton of publicity, I'm sure.
That's cool. Was it planned? You know?
I'm sure.
What the
that
hell were
entire
we
show is
talking about?
planned.
Oh, Doomsday. Yeah, I'm excited about it too.
I
Can't
think it
wait.
looks great. God bless Don Johnson. They brought him back from the dead, which is great, and it's got a great cast. It's good. It looks dope.
Sorry.
Next news story. Netflix changes the Great British Baking Show to weekly releases. Are you guys pissed? What's happening? How are we taking this?
I think they're doing it, if I'm not mistaken, to coincide with the fact that they're still airing. So
Yeah.
like we're current now,
We
which
get
makes
them
sense.
3 days after the UK.
Yeah, which I kind of like. Again, this show for me is not necessarily a hill worth dying on as far as like how I consume it. Most likely, what I'll do is just let the entire season spool up, and then I'll just go back and watch it because I really don't care who wins.
Have you been watching it all this
We
season?
went no. I mean,
it's
honestly,
only
I haven't
one
watched in maybe
episode for
6
this
Oh,
months.
really?
season.
Oh, that
Yeah.
was more than
Yeah,
that.
I haven't
It might
watched
be
it.
2 at this point, but
I whittled my way through about 5 seasons before I started getting lost because the seasons were coming out weirdly in like a weird. Like you had current seasons and then it kind of jumped a little bit and I was like, oh, this looks
yeah,
bad.
there was
This
a
is
chunk
like
that
from
they
20
didn't
years ago.
upload on Netflix
Yeah.
as far as I know.
So we'll get back into it probably once we have more. But again, I do get invested in who wins, but it's more just about seeing these
I
lovely.
thought you just said you didn't get
to
invested
a
in
degree,
wins.
I do get invested.
You have your
but
favorites that
you
you
have
end
your
up
faves,
liking.
and you end up rooting for people. But at the end of the day, it really is just about watching these lovely British people be lovely to each other and make some beautiful and some not so beautiful pastries, and it's very relaxing. So I'll take it as it comes.
Yeah. For me, the Great British Baking Show or whatever phrasing they use for it, because it's different than the BBC one, is
But
not
is it a different show than the
No,
BBC?
they just it's
They have
because
to name it,
Pillsbury
right.
has the trademark here.
Which is such a weird
I
thing
know,
to
it's super-
Bake Off, right? Or something like that.
I think so. I'm not invested enough in the Great British Baking Show to watch it on a weekly basis. I don't think. I think I'm kind of like Nick, where
Yeah.
it's like it's because it's so nice and lovely and it's not like hyper competitive.
Right. It unfortunately does not stoke that part of your brain where you're like, I have to be a part of this fucking war right now online. You're just like, it's lovely.
Yeah, it's just like, I love this.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to watch it, but I don't think this will be one that like I keep up with week to week versus if they release like Queer Eye week to week, I feel like that would be one that I'd be like, oh my gosh, I need the next one. I want to see it. So it'll be interesting to see.
Would you get upset if that happened? Or would you just be like, all right, cool, it's not my routine? Because I feel like I probably would be annoyed, like, because it's, I feel like the last couple seasons have come out after we've had big events like E3 and stuff like that. So it's been fun to come home and just like binge everything. I think if they were like, hey, we're going to make it weekly, but we're going to make it 12 episode seasons instead of the like 6 to 8 that they do, I'd be like, okay. I feel like I'd be, because it's just like, we get more of it. I feel like that's a big question for me, whether I like the weekly content drops, because it's like, Righteous Gemstone, it sucks having to wait, but at the same time, it's like, if you guys are watching it, like with the Disney Plus shows, like it's gonna be a lot of fun to come in on Monday or whatever day, like after it comes out, and like discuss stuff together and like talk about it, you know. So like that appeal is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know that there's.
But the baking show wouldn't work for that, and I don't think. What's the other show you were just talking about?
Queer Eye?
Queer Eye would work for that either. For like coming in and being like, this is what happened last night. Crazy.
Yeah. Well, especially with Queer Eye because it's individual story.
Yeah, You need like a long narrative that's being told that you can break down.
I'm trying to think if there's anything that I watch week to week. I feel like I usually just wait for like episodes
you didn't watch
to bank.
Game of Thrones either.
No, I didn't watch Game of Thrones. Even like the weird Hulu shows like 911, which is a not great show.
Never heard of that.
It's one of those like not episodic.
Anthology.
No, it's like where every show is like the same format, or like every episode where it's like, fuck, I can't remember what it's called. There's like a series term for it. Mr. Yasmin says 911 is a Fox show, not Hulu. Yeah, well, I watch it on Hulu, so that's why.
What are we talking about? Sorry, I was in the chat.
911.
911.
Why?
Oh,
it's like the Peter, whatchamacallit? Procedural. Thank you, Wasted Bandwidth.
That's the one with that's Angela Bassett and the guy from 6 Feet Under.
Peter something.
Yeah.
Anyways, but all that stuff where it's like, I just bank them all for like, and watch like 4 episodes in one day or something like that. Thank you, Wasted Bandwidth. That was going to drive me nuts.
Our next news story. This is a short one. The Kenobi series for Disney Plus takes place 8 years after Revenge of the Sith.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's 11 years before A New Hope. Will there be 11 seasons to catch up to A New Hope? Probably not. You know?
Yeah.
Like, is this show going to be good? We'll see. I like the idea. I'm down.
I'm so cautiously optimistic about these shows.
Yeah.
But like I said, I mean, I think I was the most lukewarm on the Mandalorian trailer.
Yeah.
I think everyone was really hyped for that. And to me, I really, really hope they don't dip into territory that cheapens Star Wars, because we're already on that tightrope as is right now. And so I know that Disney has a better legacy with the Marvel stuff of treating it very, very well. But man, if they fuck up Kenobi for me, like they fucked up Solo for me, I'm going to be really unhappy.
The biggest issue is that like they have already...
It's already gone, I know.
No, there's like storyline that's already happened on Rebels, the animated show, that is tied into this.
Right. And it's like tied a little bit into things that happen in Solo, and I don't want to like say what exactly. Just to,
Darth Maul.
Okay, yeah, it's Darth Maul shit. But I think it would be interesting if like, because it seems like Rebels is way closer to A New Hope and
Time-wise?
Rogue One and stuff. Actually, I think they do confirm that at one point early on in the series. So yeah, I don't think they would go near that point at all.
Also, I don't want them to like, I don't know how close it is to Solo when like the Solo movie happened, and I don't want there to be a weird
crossover
meeting, where it's like, oh look, old Ben knew Han, and it's just like, well, why would he forget? And like,
why are you retconning?
Yeah. No,
so I
don't think
hope that they do this. I hope that we get a totally different story where he's like on Tatooine and he's like, I'm gonna dick off and go try to help other people, and like there's no connection to Maul or any of that other stuff.
There was a book series from like the canon, like the books that aren't canon anymore. That
Legacy.
from the legacy stuff where he went to try to find other remaining Jedi and shit.
Right.
And I think if that's the premise of the show, I'd
But
be
isn't
fucking
it's also
down.
like, don't we know and like this is one of like Nick's things where it's like we know how it concludes, where it's like, doesn't he fail then? Because we didn't see any other Jedi.
But it might, but like that could be his mission. But we could take that premise and make it. Again, this is like something like I think would be interesting, but who knows? Like if this is what Disney would do, of like make it more introspective and shit. Of like he's going on this journey to find other Jedi, but at the end of the day, like he can't find any.
Dude, that would be
it's like this really sad, like slow journey of like him coming to terms of like where like the galaxy
gone,
or like
yeah.
where the galaxy is at this point,
which
So,
would be interesting and kind of do a big contrast to the ending of Last Jedi, where
Right.
it's
You're just trying to talk shit about Last Jedi.
No, that was actually serious. Well, that will make it more poignant.
Yeah.
While right now it doesnwell, mean anything and it's stupid.
Now you're trying to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last Jedi
Yeah.
is a good movie.
I mean, that's an opinion. A bad one too.
I refuse to engage.
Good. I'm so
I'm above
proud
it
of you.
now. I'm above it
My
now.
hives are coming back a little bit.
I'm above it now.
Let's just quickly discuss our last news story. There it is. Highest paid actress of the year has been announced.
I always like
always
seeing these.
interesting.
It's
Yeah,
always,
I think they're very interesting. I find it interesting that they separate them, actresses and actors.
yeah. That's
'Cause
always
I feel like that's
still my big gripe with
Yeah.
overall with Hollywood, but it's okay.
yeah. Well, because it's like I feel like there's a big movement to be like, hey, we're all actors, and it's
Yeah.
like I'm down for that, but like let's get rid of.
It really is. It really
the
is one of those
separation
things.
then.
Well, it really
Like,
is one of those things.
Why
That,
are there two Oscars?
it harkens back to like the Oscars, really,
Yeah.
right? When they did the separation, and obviously it's because you can give more people
Awards, absolutely.
in that regard.
Yeah.
But there really is. For sports, you can make an argument. Yeah, there's a very definitive reason why a 270-pound man shouldn't fight a 130-pound woman. That notwithstanding, there's really no difference between Meryl Streep and George Clooney as far as acting ability
Meryl
because
Streep's
of their
Meryl Streep's
gender.
way better.
Way better.
So like,
George Clooney's great. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I
Meryl
love
Streep,
George
though.
Clooney.
so it is kind of silly that it's like best actor, best actress, but
How crazy!
to
that-
each their own.
Meryl Streep's just such a good actress.
She's a badass.
So good.
actor. So what do we?
Who we got?
Do we want to go? Wow, top 10 of actors. Will Smith, 35 million. Then Paul Rudd,
I love him.
yeah, 41 million.
Yeah, he's beautiful.
That's just-
He's looked the same for the last 20 years.
Will Smith in the same boat. We were just talking about this before the show started, where a trailer we'll talk about later, where Will Smith still looks great.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like
Martin Lawrence.
He
not so
has
much.
aged more
Yeah.
than Paul Rudd, but not in a bad way.
But I think that's just because you haven't seen Paul Rudd young in a long time.
Do you know how often I watch Clueless? All the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Me too. Good for you. And then Chris Evans is number 8.
I'm so excited for Knives Out, speaking of Evans.
Oh man,
We saw a trailer for it again last night.
Yeah, that looks
That looks
so
fun.
good.
looks good.
So good.
This is an interesting one. It's a tie, so there's 2 people for number 6. Number 1 is Bradley Cooper, or
Huh.
in this tie.
Yeah.
And then the other one for number 6, Adam Sandler.
What?
It's all
right.
that Netflix
By
money.
the way-
man.
$57 million.
All that Netflix
I don't know.
money.
I don't know who cobbled this list together, but when you have
think
a
it might be
top
Forbes.
10 list, you don't have 2 number 6s. That's a top 11
But
list.
the problem
Yeah.
is they made the same amount.
That's true.
But
so
then you
then,
just
then
don't
Will
have a
Smith
7.
shouldn't be on it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You don't have
if you
a 10.
have 2
That
6s,
gets
then you
knocked
go
down.
to 8.
But then who would be 6? Who would be 5?
You just have 6, 6, and then it goes to like 8.
8, yeah.
Well, that's how it went.
Crazy.
Yeah.
No, because there's 1.
It's
No, yeah.
10, 9,
Oh,
2,
yeah, there's
3,
no
6.
7. You're right.
5.
Sorry.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank
Calm
you.
down, people.
Wow,
God damn
they
it.
nailed it. Whoever compiled this list really
They know
killed
how
it.
lists
Yeah.
work.
It threw me off because the list goes in ascending order. So, descending order.
Descending order,
Yeah,
yeah.
from-
Which is, I feel like the way these lists should go.
Not when I'm reading them. Sorry, it's just
no
hard for me.
worries, no worries. Then another shocking one. As number 5, Jackie Chan.
Huge star.
All right.
What was
What
he
does
in?
he do?
I have no idea.
Can someone look
Sure.
up what he
Yeah.
was in? Because $58 million
And that's
is not a
this
small
year,
amount.
right? 2019?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What's he been in lately? I mean, the first one that comes up, Rush Hour, 1998.
Yeah, so that doesn't help
Drunken Master, 1978.
me. Oh, good
Pulling up
movie.
IMDb.
Who Am I, 1998.
What's
He was
working on?
in The Night of Shadows Between Yin and Yang, Journey to China, The Mystery of the Iron Mask.
And that's it.
Those are And
there's
the Climbers,
which hasn't
is
come
in
out.
post-production.
Yeah,
So
I don't know,
there's 3
man.
titles.
I think
I
honestly,
guess they did really well.
it's a possibility that he might have some investments that he produces movies, which is a possibility. Like I'm willing to bet.
Then this list is flawed because this is highest paid actors. You would imagine that's for acting, right? Not producing.
And maybe it's residuals. I don't know, because I can't
Maybe.
imagine that Chris Evans definitely did not get paid $43 million in a single year to be an actor. That must have been residuals from other movies, all the Marvel movies and stuff that he's done.
Perhaps.
Like, we know that Marvel doesn't pay him that much. We know historically they pay him like, they pay everyone pretty much scale. Well, not scale, but scale for what they do.
Do they?
Yeah, usually that was the big kerfuffle, right?
That's wasn't
that's how
Robert
Marvel's
Downey Jr. played Hella?
with the exception of
shit, he's number 3.
yeah, with the exception of RBJ, who was able to negotiate higher terms. The reason why all the Marvel movies did so well is because they were like, we're not paying you guys outrageous salaries. Everyone's going to take similar salaries, which are going to be like, I think if I'm not mistaken, like sub $1 million for each one of these movies, and we're just going to get you guys in hella shit. But
Interesting.
they may have as they went through renegotiated some of these things. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't recognize this next one. Number 4, Akshay Kumar.
Zach Meininger said Chris Evans made $20 million for Endgame. Yeah, so I guess maybe that what I just said went out the window, and they just started renegotiating, saying pay us hella.
Interesting.
He's a Indian-born Canadian actor, producer, and television personality who works in Bollywood films.
He's making better.
Interesting.
Bollywood is totally different.
Number 4, 65 million movies.
Big market.
That's cool. That's interesting to see that thrown in the mix here.
Yeah.
Then we have Robert Downey Jr. as our number 3.
RBJ.
Chris Hemsworth as our number 2.
Whoa.
More than
Interesting.
Robert Downey Jr.
That's crazy.
I feel like he's in more movies.
Well, he also had that Men in Black paycheck. Which
Yeah,
He has
I'm
that
sure
paycheck.
He
He has all
paid
those
well.
great residuals from that last Ghostbusters that came out.
And then number 1, Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
No surprise there.
No
At
surprise.
89 million.
And here's what I love about The
With
Rock,
an
right?
M.
Is that The Rock's like, you have Chris Hemsworth and Robert Downey Jr. who make great films and are getting rewarded for that. The Rock goes the other way. He's like, I'm going to be the Costco of filmmaking.
Yeah.
I'm just going to offer bulk. I'm going to make 17 okay films every year.
So I talked with a friend who was at D23 and saw him with all his Jungle Cruise stuff.
Yeah.
She said it looks real fun.
I'm sure it will be.
I can't wait.
Jumanji was
I
fun
can't
too. Hobbs and Shaw was moderately fun.
I enjoyed the shit out. I was laughing so
All
So
these
hard.
movies-
it's pretty low on my Fast and Furious ranking.
My
Sure.
problem with The Rock is that he delivers a consistent product, but the product is always a varying degree of okay.
Yeah.
You know, they're all
But
forgettable
sometimes
movies.
great. Sometimes great.
I mean, what's the last great movie The Rock
Jumanji,
did?
yeah, that was great.
I don't know if it
that
was great.
It wasn't great.
I enjoyed it a lot.
The last really great movie I think The Rock did, and I have to think back. I'd have to look through his anthology, but the last one I really remember thinking, wow, this actually hits on all cylinders for me was like the Rundown, which is like the 3rd movie he did. Everything beyond that has just been like, I just don't think he has enough time. I don't think his team has enough time to really develop these movies into something that's truly great. Joey just Googled The Rock.
I didn't Google
in IMDb
I
in
just
search, and it came up with the classic Nicolas Cage, Sean Connery movie, The Rock.
Such a good movie.
And you know what?
I
I'm not
love
even
that
mad
movie
at you
so
for
much.
that.
Yeah.
I just
We can
did
just
it and
move on.
hit enter because I assumed that it was going to be the first
I just
thing.
looked at the list for
Why is it not
actresses,
working?
and it's very interesting. You will
I'm
not
looking-
be able to guess who's number 2.
Well, now
Not be
I'm
able to
looking at
guess
it.
who's number 2.
Interesting.
Yeah, who do you think number 1 is?
Well, I already
ScarJo.
know who
Oh
it
yeah, we already
is.
talked
Yeah.
about it. You're right.
Is
One's
number
ScarJo.
2 Meryl Streep? No.
No.
Oh, of
Is it
all
going to be
people.
someone weird?
Yeah. Do you want me? Well, should we go 10 down
Yeah.
again? All right.
Sure.
So the first one, Ellen.
Pompeo?
I don't know who's she.
She's from Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
She's been like 800
yeah.
seasons of Grey's Anatomy, so she's making bank.
And then Charlize Theron,
Absolutely.
Margot Robbie,
We saw
Elizabeth
the
Moss
Birds of
making
Prey.
24
Elizabeth
mil.
Moss, another one that's just like whoa.
Good for her.
It's all the
Interesting.
Handmaid's-
Kaylee Cuoco making that last season of
Big Bang.
Big Bang Theory money. That's
Yeah.
great.
We
Jennifer
didn't even talk about the
Aniston.
Birds of Prey thing that we saw last night either.
I was gonna get into
Oh,
it
okay.
when we talked about it during it.
Perfect.
Yeah, Jennifer Aniston. What the fuck?
I probably another Netflix thing.
Yeah,
right?
she
Yeah,
did that
She probably got
Murder
paid
Mystery.
shit tons for that,
That Murder
that
Mystery
piece
was-
of shit movie.
Murder Mystery?
It's so
I didn't
bad.
think was
It
as
was-
bad
Oh, I
as
thought it was a lot funner than I expected,
Yeah.
especially with Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler's been putting out crap
It's-
on Netflix.
you know what? You know what? It really. I went back and watched Mr. Deeds lately, like when I
So
was.
good.
And it's one of the.
It's great. It's Mr. G's a great movie.
So it's. I mean, let's not say it's great.
I think it's great. It's-
highly
it's
entertaining,
heartwarming.
Yeah.
and it is very much in the camp of old school Happy Madison, Adam Sandler production movies.
I feel like it's one step away from that. Because the Happy Madison movies, like the true Happy Madison movies, are phenomenal.
I will say that Deeds.
Grandma's Boy was the last of its.
I will say that Deeds still holds up as one of those, like, it feels like an old school Happy Madison movie. It's really fun. It has that style where it's kind of self-aware, and all the characters from all the other movies, all the actors are coming. Steve Buscemi's in it all the fucking time. And then you watch this movie and you go, man, it's so sad that he doesn't care about trying anymore, because this movie is just a hodgepodge of dumb scenes together where it could have been something great.
I felt like his acting was a little bit more, like, he was more stern and like, but
Not
like
goofy. Yeah.
But like that's what the character called for.
Yeah, I just feel like
I feel like a problem he had with the first batch of Netflix movies that have came out is that he went with like, I'm gonna be super goofy and stuff, and like The Cobbler and all these Click, movies that came out that
First off,
Click is terrible.
Click is great.
Click is terrible.
Bed Bath.
Speed Racer's a
Pretty
good movie.
good.
You
Bed
don't know
Bath.
anything. What?
And beyond.
Click is pretty good.
Click is actually a legit movie. Like, and this
No,
is what I'm
I
saying with
hate
you
Click
guys.
so
is
much.
I just wish that Netflix would go, hey, we've got Adam Sandler, we've got Jennifer Aniston. Let's do maybe this is my only criticism. Let's just do maybe 2 more script revisions. Let's just make sure this movie kind of hits the dramatic beats that it needs to hit. And then when you have Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler in a scene together, it'll be fine because we actually care about the story. Where in this one, it's like, okay, she gets to drive. And you're like, okay, that was it. That was the
He
big
didn't
payoff.
realize that it was on the other side because of the UK.
Charles JJ in the chat also says Funny People is an underrated Sandler movie.
Funny
Hell
People's
yeah.
a great movie.
I-
Funny People's
never
But that's not a
awesome.
that's not a
It's
Sandler movie.
It's
That's an
not really-
Apatow movie.
Yeah, it's
That's
an
why it's
Apatow
good.
movie with Sandler in it.
Apatow has the opposite problem where he tells too much fucking story, and you're
Yeah.
like, bro, you gotta just let's cut
I
this
love
down.
it, though.
Like
Apatow was
This Is
great.
40, I thought was great for the first 3
Really?
hours, and then after the third hour, I was like, I need this cupcake shit to stop. Like, I don't care if he eats cupcakes anymore. He's skinny. Let him be it. Let him be happy. She doesn't understand what it's like to be married. It's stressful. It's stressful, Jerry.
This Is 40 was definitely for a specific audience.
Yeah, it's for people who are approaching 40, Barrett.
Yeah.
And you know
Yeah.
what? This shit was fucking real, bro.
Was it?
Real.
I thought it
Yeah.
was fun. I liked it.
It really, that was one of the only movies I've seen that really kind of looks at marriage between two people who still are like, yeah, we're still friends, but like our marriage is not what it used to be, and looks at it in a very real way, which is fun. I don't have kids though, so my life is infinitely better than them.
Sure.
True.
Sure. Number 4 on the list, Nicole Kidman, earning $34 million.
She's getting that freaking
Interesting.
Big Little Lies money,
Big Little Lies, yeah.
getting paid by HBO, dog.
Number 3, Reese Witherspoon.
Also getting that Big Little
Yeah.
Lies
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
Reese Witherspoon actually, and so this
She
is my
just started
question.
a production thing.
So
too,
she
right?
is an actor, but she has a huge production company that produces. She buys all those books and buys all the series that she's
smart.
in.
That's real
She's
smart.
really, really smart. Like she does the same thing that Seth Rogen does, where they go and they have people that go out and buy
Make things happen.
make things happen for them. So they know, like it's this crazy little market. Which if you're not familiar with it, people who are famous authors or who are on the cusp of being famous, who've had maybe one good book, they'll get that shit sold. The movie rights will be sold before they even start typing the fucking first page of the next book. And that's just how they scoop up this stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, Reese Witherspoon does that as well.
A friend of Paula's uncle does that. Like he was, it was his fault all those Sharknado movies got made.
Hey.
And like
Don't-
it was
Lots of people like those
No,
movies.
I love
absolutely,
Sharknado.
or is one of the people's fault. But like it was very interesting talking to him and like how aggressive they are about like, yeah, if like this might be a popular thing, like attack it and get it.
Yeah.
The rights to it.
Yeah, it's the
And
old school mentality.
Make it nice and cheap and get it out.
Yeah, make it cheap, make 300 of them,
Yeah.
and then one will pay for the entire slate of the next year. And it's like the Canon Films model. Number 2.
Number 2.
Sofia Vergara,
Oh,
which is
that Modern Family money?
fascinating. It must be.
Is it?
Is it still
It's
on?
still going.
Yeah, she's getting paid.
That's crazy.
I mean-
at 44 million, number 2 on the list.
That's crazy.
Right? I didn't think you were gonna guess it, Joey.
I didn't.
Didn't.
And then number 1, of
Shame
course,
on you.
ScarJo, 56 million. Mm-hmm. Fascinating.
ScarJo's such a good actress.
I'm happy for her, man. Good for her.
Yeah.
She's in that new movie. We're going to talk about her new movie with Taika Waititi that she's in a bit later.
Wait, that's trailer talk, which will come after these ads that I have for you. Our first ad, Postmates. When you need red wine at 4 p.m., Gia. When sushi at 9 p.m., Joey? That was yesterday. We had sushi at 9 p.m. yesterday.
Oh, we did.
Yeah. A breakfast burrito at 8 a.m. That's me. You know that's me. Or ibuprofen at 10 a.m. for Nicholas. Trying to wake up right, Postmate it. Postmates is your personal food delivery, grocery, whatever kind of delivery service all year round. Anything you're craving, Postmates can deliver. They're the largest on-demand network in the U.S. and offer delivery for all restaurants and grocery and convenience stores and traditional retailers you could possibly want and need. I have gotten really, really into Postmates. My favorite thing about Postmates is on the app, they let you track everything that's going on. You order it, it'll be at the thing, and then as soon as it gets picked up, notifies you, and you can see the car moving, and you know how close your food is, and it's so close, so quick. It's also the fastest service. I don't know why. Everything just gets to me within 30 minutes to an hour, and it's awesome because I'm hungry. So hungry all the time. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Postmates will bring you what you need within the hour. There it is, within the hour. God, it's so good. No more trips to the store. You don't even need to know where the store is. Postmates will deliver anything to you. Paula refuses to go to restaurants that now have Postmates, which is cool and easy because now we don't have to leave our house ever. It's the best. Download the app for iOS or Android for free. Browse local restaurants and businesses and track your deliveries in real time. Again, that's my favorite part because you get to know how far it is. Do I sometimes go out of my window and just peek and wait as I see the car coming on the map? I sure do. Oh, I love it. For a limited time, Postmates is giving our listeners $100 of free delivery credit for your first 7 days. To start your free deliveries, download the app and use code KINDOFFUNNY. That's code KINDOFFUNNY for $100 of free delivery credit for your first 7 days when you download the Postmate app. Anything you need, anytime you need it, Postmate it. Download Postmates and save with code KINDOFFUNNY. Do it. It's smart. Our next ad, HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit, gets easy seasonal recipes and pre-measured ingredients delivered right to your door. All you have to do is cook and enjoy. HelloFresh makes cooking delicious meals at home a reality, regardless of your comfort level in the kitchen. From step-by-step recipes to pre-measured ingredients, you'll have everything you need to get wow-worthy dinners on the table in just 30 minutes. Say goodbye to endless grocery stores and trips and takeout food. HelloFresh has you covered. Break out your dinner rut. No, I know. I'm just missing a page.
Is it on the back?
No.
Oh, no. Here, I'll find it for you.
Yeah, thanks. Sorry. That's all right.
I got you, big
break
cat.
out your dinner rut with HelloFresh 20-plus seasonal chef-curated recipes each week. Now, I know this. Right now, you can get $80 off, right?
Yes, $80 off your first month of HelloFresh. Go to HelloFresh.com/morning80 and enter morning80. It's like receiving 8 meals for free. Once again, that's $80 off your first month of HelloFresh. Go to HelloFresh.com/morning80 and enter morning80.
Nick, can you tell me about those tacos on there? Because Tim was talking about them, and it was really upsetting.
So as everyone knows, Gia's making the HelloFresh for Tim because Tim just loves the fact that she makes him food. He's got those sesame beef tacos coming toward him, which he's very, very, very excited about. And here's what I'm going to say, Kevin. We never get the invite, and it's annoying.
I've made a big deal about it. I feel like people are tweeting at her. Just invite us. Just have us over.
They also don't have that big of a house to have
I've had Gia over several times in my house.
Yes, Kevin has that. Kevin, yes. Never
I
had
make delicious cheese plates. All I want is a little bit of tacos. That's
exactly.
it.
These are, of course, the ones that we're talking about, the sesame beef tacos with quick pickled veggies and chili crema. And then also,
it sounds so good with
another
the
one that I
crema.
looked up that I want, that Gia's excited about that I want to eat is the cherry balsamic pork chops with garlic, herb, couscous, and roasted broccoli. Woo! I'll take that for dinner.
What's the code one more time?
Right to the face.
How do we get this?
We go to HelloFresh.com/morning80 and enter the code morning80.
Thank you very much, Nicholas.
You're very
now
welcome.
it's time to talk about some trailers.
Woo!
We don't
Trailers.
think there it is.
Talks.
There's no jingle for that, sorry.
I just did it.
No, yeah, Nick just did it.
It was freak nasty.
It was so
I
freak
didn't hear
nasty. Our first trailer we're going to talk about is Joker. We got a longer Joker trailer.
Yeah, it gives a lot more context to what the movie is going to be. Man, I
I'm so on the fence about it.
I am too.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be an interesting movie. Here's my prediction. I think it's going to be a good movie. I think it's going to be very weird as a Joker movie.
But that's kind of what they were going for, right?
Yes. So what I said before, I'll stand behind it. I want this movie to be violent. I want it to be R. I want it to be polarizing.
It is R, so you got that.
I mean, we're seeing him smoking cigarettes. We're seeing him do all sorts of things that make this movie feel like it's going to be a very intense experience. As to whether or not it's going to feel like an actual DC comic book movie, I really don't care at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm totally with you.
And spoilers, it's not going to feel that way, right? It's going to be an offshoot, almost like what if scenario movie, and it's going to be. I mean, just looking at the trailer, it looks. And they did this on purpose, by the way, like a Scorsese movie. And one of the things that I thought was absolutely fascinating was I didn't realize that Robert De Niro was in this.
Really?
Robert De Niro, of course, was in a movie called The King of Comedy, where he played a comedian that was in such dire straits to get on a Johnny Carson-like show that he took the show hostage. And then eventually does a set. So like, there's a lot of meta stuff in here for me that I'm like, okay, you're pulling on my heartstrings.
cool.
If they make any reference to The Departed, I'm going to get up and just walk out, though. I'll just get up and walk out.
It's not funny. Your bad takes are awful.
If it does that, then it will deserve all the 10 out of 10s that it's been getting. You know.
Are you in?
I'm gonna see it.
I know you have to see it, but like, are you
to see
in?
it.
You know what I mean?
I still am so on the fence about it. I have a feeling it's gonna be a good movie. What I'm not excited for is like the cultural aspect of it. Of like, I feel like I can tell that this is gonna be a movie that like. At least when I was in college, like all the dudes had like 300 posters and Fight Club
You
posters.
mean like Taxi Driver or like Scarface
Like V for
posters?
It's
Vendetta,
gonna be
where everyone had
one of those
yeah.
like movies
Guy
where
Fawkes.
like everyone is just like, is just gonna like
You
overhype
think
it.
dudes
I
are going to
think.
bro out too much on this?
Yeah.
here's
I
the
don't
thing,
see that.
like-
I don't see this being that.
I don't
though.
know. I know people are like, it's been getting really good reviews. It's been getting a 10, and I'm just like, oh, I hope that it doesn't get that like treatment, because that's kind of what I feel. Like
Laker
it's
said
gonna
in
get.
here is responding to someone, but he brings up, he's like, it does have Taxi Driver vibes for sure. It really, really does. And I lumped in Taxi Driver into that the Fight Club area, but really, I don't think anyone really glorified that movie. I think Taxi Driver is one of those like very classic movies you look at, you're like, oh.
But that movie is about glorifying like.
No.
But that movie is about like the glorification of like violence.
No, I watched it about a month ago.
No, yeah, but
it is about like
him going crazy, and at the end he becomes famous for it.
yeah. I guess that's true.
You know
That's
what I
true.
mean?
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yes. So it is a commentary on that,
Yeah.
but it's not about. It's about our obsession with how we glorify violent and violent acts and things
Yeah.
like that. But it's also very much about depression,
Right.
and very much about isolation and what leads someone
And
to
falling apart, really, yeah.
that level of psychoses.
It's a good movie.
Which I think that they're drawing a lot from the looks of it to bring
Right.
it back to Joker.
Yeah.
That looks like what this character's going through. Someone who maybe is a little psychologically damaged. We see him with his therapist, and he's like, "You're not listening to me. You're just saying the same thing over and over to me, and it's not helping." Which I think is another meta commentary on mental health in our world, in our country right now. And I think Joaquin Phoenix is a phenomenal actor. This looks beautiful. It looks fucked up, but it is still weird for me to be like, it's a Joker movie. Like if this were just a movie about a guy going crazy who dressed up like any other thing else, I'd be like, I'm in. I'm 100% in. But it's weird that the Joker is just like, it's not clicking for me just yet.
What made me feel a little bit like, oh, I don't know about this, is the scene where all the people are wearing the Joker masks outside, and it's like,
Well, I think he's getting a fan base for like being crazy,
yeah,
which I think could be cool.
Yeah, it could. I'm interested to see how this take. This trailer definitely, for me, got me more interested, because like now there's clearly more depth to this movie, and like depth. So I'm in. I feel like this trailer did kind of grab my attention a little bit harder
Yeah.
than previous ones.
Also, please, I'm just not looking forward to a billion Joker cosplays for the next 5 years, because we just ended it.
Yeah, that's
The
gonna
end.
happen. If this movie's good, that's gonna happen.
I know.
Yeah.
And if it's not good, it'll
still
still
gonna
happen.
happen.
Yeah, it'll
Still
still happen. But
gonna
it'll be
happen.
less. It'll be less.
I forget
Like,
somebody.
because then they'll be doing it like jokingly, you know, versus like.
I
people
don't
walking
think
around.
people were doing that about the Jared Leto Joker.
Yeah, people like
Were they
dress-
doing that? Wasn't a thing.
Oh,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
it
that was
was.
100% a thing.
Yeah, it was.
The
Nick, was that a
Joker and Harley Quinn
The
couple
Jared Leto
cosplays
thing?
all the fucking time.
I didn't
I
see
don't
this.
know. I stopped looking at cosplay a long time ago.
Let's move on to our next trailer, Black Christmas.
Looks fun.
Yeah, right?
This looks like just a fun horror movie.
Yeah, we watched this last night in the theater, and I was like, "This sounds oddly familiar," because this was a 2000.
You
it was
leaned
a
over and you
70s
said
movie.
Black Christmas, and I was like, "Oh, Joey's seen this trailer before."
No, so it was a 70s movie, and then it came. There was another one in like the mid 2000s
Yeah.
that came out with like a bunch of people, like Mary Elizabeth Winstead and Michelle Trachtenberg and a bunch of people. I think it's gonna be a fun,
I think
dark.
it's gonna be fun, yeah.
What I don't like about it though is, oh my god, yeah, I do remember this movie.
Yeah.
They have Cary Elwes in the very first scene. I was like, he's the killer. Clearly, he's clearly the bad guy. And I was like, but I won't know until I see the movie or until I finish the fucking trailer and you hear him and see him as the bad guy. You're like, why would they do this?
Okay.
Why would they do it?
Yeah.
But maybe we don't know. Maybe he's just like, we have a lot of maybe he's the teacher and that they pulled a line from that. But I'm like, he's either going to be the red herring or he's going to be the killer. It's annoying. Stop making Cary Elwes a bad guy.
He's a bad guy. I mean, there's no two ways about it. He's a bad person. We know that.
Yeah, the shots in this trailer that's like the weird culty like hooded figures thing, that was not in the 2006 one. That was just kind of a slasher
That was a
serial
weird
killer one.
shot.
So like, yeah, the culty stuff, I'm like, maybe they won't go
I
the
like it,
serial
though.
killer part.
I think they go, like, I hope that they're going to go this, like, weird cult fraternity thing where
Yeah.
it's like,
'Cause-
we have to sacrifice, this.
I think that would be a more interesting story than like serial killer that turns its victims into Christmas cookies,
Is that what this one
which is the
about?
2006 one. Yeah.
An escape
Do
maniac
people
returns
eat
to
the
childhood
Christmas
home,
cookies?
who is now a sorority house and
I
begins
don't
to
think
murder
people
his sororities
eat them, but
one by one.
I'm pretty sure just like with like a cookie cutter.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That would hurt.
It's been a while since I've seen the other movies, so. But that was a defining factor, and I was surprised that they didn't show that in the trailer.
Yeah, but I'm interested in this one. I think if it comes around and Joester wants to go, I'm in.
Yeah, I'm totally gonna do it.
Nick Nack, you think you're going to see this one?
I'll watch it when it comes to Netflix. This is not something I'm going to race out into the theaters to see.
Unlike our next trailer, Bad Boys for Life. Oh, man.
I feel like I should call Josh McCougar for this.
Yeah, you
How do we
can if
feel
you
about
want
it?
to.
Yeah,
Call Josh McCougar.
Why do you have to do it that way? I don't understand.
It's fun
You
for
guys
me.
made fun of me for so long.
Let's see if
man,
he
I
answers.
never use Siri, like any voice
I
activated
don't know
stuff.
that anyone does other than Nick.
Let's see if he answers.
Do you think he's doing his show?
He might
right
be
now?
doing his show right now.
buddy.
Hey, Josh, you're on Screencast with me, Kevin, and Joey, and we just started talking about a little movie I think is an indie film starring Will Smith and Martin Lawrence called Bad Boys for Life.
Man, what a great indie flick. Just, it's all about crowdfunding.
It really is. It's so cool that Patreon allows Will Smith to still have a career. Everyone in our chat wants us to call you because we want to get your reaction on this trailer. Where are you at with this? Where are you at?
Nick, there are points in your life when, lightning strikes and you realize that you've just seen perfection, right? Like, the first time you met your wife, or the first time you had pizza, or the first time you had a buffalo wing, or the first time you tried whiskey, right? And then, that first time you saw
a great
Bad
list.
Boys 2, and then when that Bad Boys for Life trailer came out, you got that fluttery feeling in your stomach, that feeling of, I'm witnessing perfection. I'm witnessing what I've waited 16 years for. And then they deliver. It doesn't matter that Martin Lawrence put on a little dad weight. It doesn't matter that Will Smith is an ageless SOB. It doesn't matter that somehow Vanessa Hudgens got in this movie and we didn't. What matters most is they hit every single note we wanted, and January 17th can't come soon enough.
It really cannot. I'm
so far
100%
away.
with you. I don't know what retirement home they dug Martin Lawrence out, and maybe they have to bring him back because his curfew's at 6 p.m. or whatever. But God bless them for doing it. God bless the team for putting that together. And I'm just going to give a shout out to Puff Daddy for providing the Bad Boys song, Bad Boys for Life, that goes beyond. And then that dope ass remake in this trailer. It's phenomenal. Phenomenal.
It really, really is. Soundtrack. I mistakenly said that at the opening that was a Ferrari, but that's clearly
No, it's a Porsche.
That's my bad. on
It's a
that one.
beautiful
Because,
Porsche.
in the first one, he drives a Porsche. The second one, he drives a Ferrari.
That's right.
Now he's back to the Porsche. We can't all be trust fund.
Well, of course, we have to have that great. We had that great scene where he was like, he goes through the specs of his Porsche, and he's like, "This is a Porsche. This will beat that car. It will beat that car." And he was like, "Will it?" And he's like, "I don't know." And then they beat the car, and it's great. All right, Josh.
How are you guys? I miss you guys.
We're doing well, man. We're doing well. We can't wait to see you again when you come back up, and we have to catch up. But for now, we have to go back and do the rest of the show and talk about this trailer and JoJo Rabbit. So,
Kevin, love you guys. We'll see you
Bye.
You too, bud.
thanks, man.
soon. You got it.
Bye.
Yep.
I'm in.
What a gem he is.
I'm 100%.
I'm in,
this.
but man.
It looks bad.
Martin Lawrence. Oh, I said it when we saw the first images. and I'm saying it now. God, it's cool they're going the route of like, oh, I need to retire.
He's old. I mean,
Yeah.
look, he's got glass. He's wearing. They have the glasses joke. There's one
Which is
joke
funny.
in here that hits very, very much for me. It's when the new team is singing.
Bad Boys.
Bad boys. What you gonna? And Will Smith's like, no. And then Martin Lawrence is like, you fucking up the lyrics. And they take a long time to learn because that was the joke in the first couple that they just they don't know the actual lyrics to it. I'm in.
Yeah.
Okay. God bless him.
I just realized that one of the guys in that scene, the new class, is the guy from that The Sun Is Also a Star movie.
Oh yeah.
I was like, why do I know him?
It just cuts to these 5
Giant
models
man.
of beautiful human beings with Kevlar vests on. That's what Bad Boys is all about. Fuck realism. And they got the captain back, which is great. I love that guy.
He's so good.
Yeah.
And he's such a good like police sergeant captain, guy.
Silly
He
and
nails
fun.
it every time. And the last trailer, the one I'm most excited for,
Yeah.
JoJo Rabbit.
Yeah.
Man, this looks so good.
I was already in with the little teaser that they had put out previously,
Yeah.
but this is just like, oh, cool. This movie is gonna be like, this movie's gonna be phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait for it to come out.
This is hitting on all cylinders for me, and I honestly think this is going to be one of those that like gets a nod for the Academy Awards because I think if they're able to turn this around and make it poignant, which it looks like they will be doing,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be fucking phenomenal.
It looks so good. It feels so Wes Anderson-y.
It very much does, but it is Taika's directing it, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll say it's
It's interesting
Taika-y.
how much it feels like a Wes Anderson film. The color, the like
Humor,
what we saw,
timing.
the humor and like the like
cinematography
edit,
is-
everything
yeah.
just kind of has that feel, and it's cool to see another director using a similar style that's gonna we know it's gonna be very different. Like comedy's gonna be such a big part of it. But
Yeah.
also it looks like some real shit in there.
It also looks. I mean, the reason why, and I know that Taika has a very similar style in some regards to Wes Anderson, but this really does look like Moonrise Kingdom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that what it was? Yeah, Moonrise Kingdom. Where it's like But I think I'm just drawing that parallel because it's a
There's
bunch of kids in
Yeah.
in uniforms.
But again, like I kind of feel like that's on purpose. Like
Yeah.
so
Well, they
much of
both
the
have
first.
Rockwell in them, don't they?
But
Yeah.
they do both have Ed Norton was in,
Oh,
in
Ed
the other
Norton.
one.
Oh, you're
This
right.
Rockwell was
yeah.
in another one.
A lot of people
Probably.
say Rockwell, poor man's Edward Norton.
How dare you? How fucking dare you?
I'm not saying one's better
They
than the
are
other.
100% different. 100% different.
They look a lot alike.
They
white
look a
people,
lot
you know what I
alike.
mean?
They look a lot alike. This is, I think it's just a fascinating, it's going to be a fascinating story. What better way to tell the innocence of
Childhood through Nazi youth.
I mean,
it's
honestly, I think it's genius.
Yeah,
you know,
I think it's
have
brilliant too.
The kid who realizes like if you just spend time with someone who's different than you, like they're just human beings, right? We have that great scene where he's like, the two of them are talking, him and his imaginary Hitler friend, his little buddy Hitler, where he's like, I know what we should do. And the kid says negotiate. And Hitler says burn the house down and blame it on Winston Churchill. I'm like,
it's very good.
this is great.
So
this is going to be,
good.
and then the last scene with the kids, with the little chubby kid with the rocket.
Drops the thing
Fucking
and then
hilarious. It's like, it's not a good time to be a Nazi. It's fucking, this is going to be great.
I want to say this is probably the movie I'm most like
Most
excited for. Yeah.
anticipated.
Do I know when it's coming out? No idea. I really wish I had noticed that
Look that up.
because I want to see it. I want to see it right now.
Oh, look it up when it's out.
Yeah.
October
18th.
18th.
Yes.
Oh,
Fucking A, right around the corner. All right.
Buddy. Yeah,
very
buddy.
exciting.
Yeah.
Wasn't there like kind of a little scare because Disney was like commentating and like how they were nervous about
Yeah.
like
They were like, we don't want to put this out.
Yeah.
And then they put
Probably
out the
Taika,
trailer, and
yeah.
I think everyone was just like, no, we want this.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like that was like one article, and it
Yeah.
never went anywhere.
But it was one of those things like now knowing what like the full movie is, but like just knowing the premise, like I could totally
Yeah.
see Disney being like, nope, we're scrapping that shit.
Well, I think that the premise is interesting, like him finding a Jewish girl being hidden in his house.
yeah, but just like the
Yeah, sure.
like the
The fact
stuff-
that like
yeah.
someone is dressed up as Hitler
Yeah.
and is his friend
Yeah.
giving him advice.
Yeah, I mean, it is
It's
a
a
very
bold move.
It's a taboo subject, and I think they're treating it properly. And I think that this is the best. This is why making movies like this that are satire and use humor to get across some of these ideas is very, very important. I'm very glad that Disney decided to put this out because this is.
This is a Fox movie, right?
I'm sorry, I thought you said Disney.
Well, Disney
Bought Fox.
Yeah,
okay,
like, yeah, and
It's gonna be great. And also shout out to Rebel Wilson. because who's playing?
Oh, that's
Who
right.
wants
she's
to burn
in it.
all the
Fraulein
books?
Ram. It's
I-
like it's time to burn books.
I hate Rebel
I
Wilson
fucking
so
love
much.
her so much.
I go back and forth.
I think she.
Do you remember
Is
how bad that
arguably-
movie was that we watched?
Gosh, it was
which is
so
still the worst movie we
bad.
watched all
What?
year.
The Hustle.
The Hustle.
Oh yeah, that one looks
was
bad.
terrible.
I thought you were gonna say, "Isn't it romantic?" And I was like, "That wasn't that bad." Isn't it
I saw-
romantic?
good.
Someone was watching it on the airplane in front of me, and I was like, I don't need to watch this.
The problem with Isn't It Romantic is that Isn't It Romantic was a movie where she gets stuck in a PG rom-com, and so they had to make it PG. If that was that movie was like more of an R-rated movie, it would have been fucking hilarious. Hilarious. You can't put constraints on Rebel Wilson. You got to let her and Melissa McCarthy just run free and say whatever the fuck they want.
Can't put
Do you
them in a
understand me?
box.
Can't
Melissa
put 'em in a
McCarthy
box.
does not do it for me.
Melissa
Nope.
McCarthy.
Is she in that too?
No.
Or just separate?
I'm drawing parallels because they have very similar like improv
Comedic styles, yeah.
I think Melissa McCarthy is one of the greatest comedic actors of our time, and I'll stand by that.
That's a take.
She makes me laugh
I don't know about that.
so fucking hard in Spy and in The Heat that I just can't. I can't fathom a world without her. One day she'll die, and I'll just kill myself.
Oh my god.
Done.
Jesus.
Don't need to be
No.
alive
Oh,
anymore.
right.
She's so
that's,
different than she was in Gilmore Girls, and I thought she was so good in Gilmore Girls
Yeah.
that I don't vibe with this.
Well, no one watched that show.
that's not
That's
true.
very
They brought
Oh,
it back.
I've seen so many Gilmore Girls
Terrible
episodes.
show.
That show goes on
Terrible show.
forever. All right, now let's talk about what is coming out to streaming platforms near you. I've picked my favorite of the lists. But you should go and look it up because there's some good stuff coming out of Netflix and Hulu and nothing on Amazon until like the end of the month, which is weird. This week we got Superbad on Netflix.
Chicka,
in the
chicka,
United States.
yeah, fake ID. That's one of my favorite like comedies
We
of
watched
that
it
era.
at Kevin's bachelor party, and
It's
we just
so
put it on.
funny.
Yeah, we just put it on. Remember when we were in the suite and we just put it on, and then we watched the entire thing.
It's a good movie.
We were hammered.
Yeah,
It was funny.
Yeah.
Superbad is one of those. If it's on TV, I will
Yeah.
watch it every single time.
And then on Hulu in the United States, Demolition Man. I love this movie
Now
so
all
fucking
restaurants are
much.
Taco Bell. That's a future I want to live in. Sandra Bullock, Sandy. There it is.
And then Amazon Prime. No, nothing.
Nothing on Amazon Prime.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing new came out and is coming out till the end of the month.
Petey
It's weird.
Popoff gives a shout out to Melissa McCarthy in Bridesmaids. Fucking great movie. She was so good in that. That's the movie that like broke her into like a mainstream star.
Yeah.
God, she was good.
I haven't watched it still.
Oh God, it's fucking.
I
funny.
want to.
It's a really good movie.
I just keep forgetting.
That is
it
what
exists.
a lot of people gave them all shit because Paul Feig made that atrocity, which was the newest Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters, yeah.
But you forget he's actually a fucking phenomenal director, and he's great when the movie calls for improv.
He also directed or wrote a bunch of episodes of was it Parks and Rec?
I want to say 30
Some show.
Rock, but it might have been Parks and Rec
Yeah. And it's just one of those things. Just like, oh man, why couldn't you do better?
or Community, maybe.
Maybe Community. I don't know. Something good.
I mean,
Oh.
you named 3 good things. Parks and Rec. Nah.
Oh man, he made that Simple Favor movie too. He's just been hit or miss
So
lately.
bad.
I really liked A Simple Favor.
Lot of
Really?
people-
At
Yeah.
the end, you were like,
Weirdly enough.
this is good. I'm like,
Oh,
where this is going.
he-
It's one of those like it's kind of fucked up, but I liked it.
He directed some episodes of Arrested Development.
Oh, that's
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then
Great show until it was awful.
yeah, he directed stuff like here and there. Like
We don't
he-
acknowledge
he
anything after
did
season 3.
An episode of 30 Rock. He
interesting.
did an episode of Parks and Rec. He did a couple episodes of Weeds, stuff like that.
Just feel
Weeds
like
is a weird show.
Also
everyone
directed
needs to
some
go back and
episodes of
watch
The
Heat
Office.
again.
I
Paul
I
Feig
will
movie.
never get over the fact that you've talked about the Heat for so long, and somehow Josh picked it for the final Jeopardy question.
so-
You
I was
realize
just thinking
the
about that.
genius of that movie.
Okay.
Watch
that was
the
just like
R-
one of the most
Here's the thing.
mind-blowing things to ever happen to me.
Here's what I honestly believe people go wrong with the Heat is you watch it on TV and you watch the PG-13 version where everything's bleeped
I've
out.
never watched it on
You
TV.
gotta watch the
No.
R-rated.
You're talking to people that don't watch
movie.
TV, Nick.
I don't have cable.
You gotta watch the R-rated version, maybe the uncut version.
Yeah, it's just I don't like your demographic you're
listen,
talking right
listen,
now.
listen.
Are like
When Sandra Bullock goes into
Some
Melissa
8-year-olds.
McCarthy's bathroom and she goes, "You're out of toilet paper. All I found was coffee filters." And Melissa McCarthy's like, "Yeah, they're the same thing. I was there. I bought coffee filters. Why would I buy 2 of the same thing?" Fucking genius. Okay.
it's not good for your your
Wildly different.
toilet. Yeah.
Comedic styles.
Out in movie
Preferences.
theaters near you. It Chapter 2.
Let's talk about it.
You want to talk about it? Let's
I
talk
do wanna
about
talk
it.
How
about
was
it.
it?
Oh man, I loved it.
Oh.
It is so long.
It is
Before we
so
get into that, I
long.
apologize,
Oh, no.
but Lexi Gunner brings up the Wu-Tang Saga on Hulu.
Oh,
is
that's
apparently
out?
available. And
yeah.
I can only
that
pick
shit
one,
looks
so Demolition Man. So,
dope.
sorry. That looks really good, and like I really want to watch it. But if I'm recommending one, it's Demolition Man.
Yeah.
But the Wu-Tang one has, I think it's Shamik Moore who voices Miles Morales and shit like that.
Oh, cool.
Part of it. So I don't know. I don't know if you want to take back that.
I do actually want to watch that.
Okay.
But like I fell apart this morning. Everything was going wrong. I lost the page of the printer, so I didn't get a good glance at what was on. It Chapter 2. I really enjoyed it.
So,
Really? Good.
Yeah, we're not gonna go into spoilers. We'll go
no
spoiler
spoilers
free.
for this. No spoiler, bros.
It is long. It is very, very
it's almost
long.
3 hours.
It's 2 hours 50 minutes.
Yeah, we read that report back, and I was like, oh, as long as it keeps my attention,
That
I'm
was
fine
like 2
with
weeks
it
ago.
being
Yeah,
this
I think
long.
we-
Yeah. Tim was like, it's too long. It's too long. I got time to bleed. I was like, Tim, you got time.
Yeah.
You're not doing anything at night.
It like you feel it, but like not in a bad way. Like it's telling like there's I don't want to go into spoilers again, but like where it goes, like I like the ride that it took us.
I felt like it was a little bit long, but I don't know that I could tell you like what to cut necessarily.
Interesting.
It's just a long movie.
But overall, definitely worth going to see it in theaters.
100%.
I didn't love it like Kevin did. I really liked it still. But I still think it's worth going to see in theaters. I think that they did a phenomenal job casting the older version of the Losers Club.
I mean, Jessica Chastain.
So good.
But
So
even
good.
all the other
Professor
characters
Charles
where like
Xavier.
you see the like matching facial expressions and stuff. It's like, man, I don't know. Like they worked so hard to nail
They do a couple
the look and the dynamic, and I feel like they killed it on both sides.
They do a couple
Good.
like transitions that are like fade in to like from face to face, and it's like I didn't realize this kid looked so much like this adult, but
Yeah.
you guys nailed it. And the dynamics between some of these kids is perfect. Like they somehow captured and embodied the childish like relationship they had and just translated it to them being full grown adults.
That's awesome.
And it's so good. If you've seen the second, like, you know, if you've seen the It movies, like, you know, it's,
I don't remember how the whole series ends. I mean, I do remember them obviously like back when I saw the TV made for TV Stephen King
Yeah.
with John Ritter or whatever.
Yeah.
I remember them facing off one more time against Pennywise, but I don't know where the story really
they
goes.
add a lot more details that are in the books that I think, like, watching the movies as a kid, like, I always thought the TV movies great,
Yeah.
but like watching as an adult, just being like, it just like things just happen and there's no explanation. Here we're given a little bit more explanation, more backstory. That's why they have the 2 hours and 50 minutes, because like they really, I think, do a good job utilizing it. And like this giant, it's like a 1,200 page book that they're able to pull all this stuff and
Yeah.
jam it full of like exposition in like a good way.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Weird non sequitur as far as books are concerned, though. We were doing a Order of the Phoenix on MCU, and someone left another piece of trivia in the chat saying that they used a smaller font for that book than they did for the other books. So apparently they used like an 11.5 font, which would have made, if they used a normal size font they use for us, it would have made it one of the longest books.
Interesting.
They might be totally full of shit. I didn't bother looking it up. But
I feel like they're probably printed differently. Like,
I don't know. I'm just saying, long books are great, I guess was my point of that. I
sure,
can get into it.
Sure.
I can get into it.
Chat also talking about, I feel like we also have to mention Bill Hader. Holy cow.
He's great.
So
He's-
good in this.
I've gained so much respect for him because of Barry, and like we see so much of that like good acting since then. Like it's just good for him.
He's great.
Shout outs for him. He was
I mean, you talk about a guy, because if I'm not mistaken, he produced Barry as well, right? Like he and his production team
And
produced
he
Barry.
even wrote one
I
episode.
think he wrote it. Yeah, and I think
the amazing episode where
which one?
the fight, the little girl and the karate dad.
Oh, I don't know if I've seen this. Is it this season?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen the whole season yet.
Oh.
I haven't caught up. It's fine.
You're fucking up, man.
I'm gonna watch it.
I think it's episode 4.
I had a problem where I couldn't watch it because I got winked, but now I'm fine. I'm okay.
Oh yeah, that was really sad.
It was hard for me, but
We
I got
don't talk
through
about it, though.
I got through it.
Yeah, it's too real.
But no, Bill Hader, shout out to him.
Yeah.
He can crush comedy and drama. Fucking A. What a talented guy. And super tall. Fucker.
Is he? Is he really
God,
tall?
yeah, he's tall. He's like probably 6'3", 6'4". Let me see.
How tall is Bill
How
Hader?
tall is Bill
Why would you
Hader?
just not Google it?
But yeah, I think that
Oh shit, he ain't that tall anyway. That makes me like him more.
okay.
Maybe Henry Winkler's just really small.
I think that like I don't know who. You have the cast open.
Yeah, I'm
Who
pulling
was
it up
that
because
guy?
I didn't know
Isaiah
there
Mustafa
were 3.
was really good.
I knew half of them, and I didn't know the other half.
Yeah. But I felt like the casting for everyone was
So good.
very good.
So, yeah.
What
the guy
has
that
he
played
been in?
Mike was in Shadowhunters and Horrible Bosses.
Yeah, see, I don't
Nikita.
know him from anything.
Still don't know that.
Oh, Nikita, great series.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy I didn't really know either.
Well, there it is.
What's his name?
Yeah, but I highly recommend it. I think you should go and watch it if you liked the first one.
Yeah,
It's
I think
more
it's
of
100%
that,
worth
yeah.
seeing.
It's long though, so be ready for that.
Yeah.
You know, go
also,
pee.
I wouldn't recommend seeing it just if you want to see the Birds of Prey teaser.
Oh,
What
cool.
a
I totally
weird-
forgot about that. I'm glad you're bringing that up. Birds of Prey
It was 30 seconds,
got
maybe.
a 30-second teaser that is not online anywhere.
They making that movie.
And I was like, I'm very excited to see it because I have a feeling it's going to be a bad trailer. I thought it was awful. So bad.
I don't even think that we saw enough of it to say... I have
Her coming
no
up-
more information. Like, I have no more information on it than I did
But
before
it
I
was
saw that.
what, her coming out of like balloons? Was it walking
'cause
towards
that's
the
it.
camera? Right. And well, I mean, it's a okay. Sure.
Her coming out of the sea of red balloons makes you think that it's going to start.
Right. Okay. I didn't.
Sorry, spoilers.
So this is why you know Isaiah Mustafa, because he's the Old Spice guy.
Oh.
Yeah, someone in the chat was
great
just
body.
mentioned that.
They hid that well.
Interesting.
Shout out to him. God, those commercials were those were such
So
a thing.
good.
They were such a thing.
Yeah, her coming out, Margot Robbie coming out and being like, "I'm so over clowns." I was just like, "Oh Jesus!" I mean, that's not even how the like Suicide Squad ended with you being over clowns, right? Didn't?
No, I think he saved her and she went back with him.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
right.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
That's what I thought. Did she then return to the group? I don't know. That movie was
That's fucking
awful.
terrible.
But isn't the next Suicide Squad movie also apparently not related to the last Suicide Squad movie?
Nobody knows.
I
Man.
think Will
Fuck
Smith's
cares?
not doing it anymore, right?
No, yeah,
not.
Will Smith's not
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah.
They casted someone else really cool for it, right?
Yeah, but I
Peter
don't-
Capaldi
No,
from
that
Doctor
wasn't
Who.
it.
He's really cool to me. So
Oh,
Yeah.
Jack Courtney's still in it though.
oh no, really?
And
Yeah,
Joel
Birds of Prey,
Oh, that's
though.
the first one. I'm sorry, that's the first
Man, like I hope that gets uploaded sometime so you guys can see.
Yasmin says Idris Elba.
That-
Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds right.
Yeah. Yeah. I have no idea what that movie is going to be.
None.
one. Sorry, which one?
It doesn't look Birds
Birds
of
of
Prey.
Prey.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And it's just weird that they put the trailer before it, and that it is like it plays right when the movie should be starting. So it like it's just a bunch of red balloons, and you're like, oh, it's interesting. They're gonna start with this balloon thing, and it's just like, oh no, it's Margot Robbie. Oh, we're actually getting the trailer.
Great.
But before that, we got the DC splash, so we knew it was a DC thing. So it wasn't like a big surprise because they gave you the hint.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It was dumb. I can't believe this movie's still being made. Cool.
Yeah, I would be very interested to see what they're going to put together for that first trailer.
All right. So last week I asked you for your topics. What D23 news are you most excited for? Some of you guys wrote in, like Mitch Krassen.
And
The
Mitch
thing-
Krassen.
The thing I'm most excited for: Falcon, The Winter Soldier's #1, Frozen 2, which I feel like it's coming out to movie theaters, but okay.
Yeah, definitely.
And then Encore. The hell's Encore?
Well,
Encore's the Chris Pratt Holland movie, right? No.
No, that's like
Pratt.
Soul, or no, that's the.
No, yeah, that's Soul. No,
But,
that's not Soul.
To be fair, you asked like what D23 stuff in general, not
Yeah.
just
You're right.
Disney
All
Not
right,
Plus.
my
streaming stuff.
apologies.
Oh,
My
Encore is
apologies,
the
Mitch.
Kristen Bell series where she reunites musical casts from.
Oh, I fucking love that
That is
idea.
interesting. I could see that being a lot of fun.
I really want to be in season 2.
I'm never
of
gonna
that.
watch it because I hate music.
I feel like I could do it. I feel like I could crush Julian
No.
Marsh again. Step right back in
Although-
like it hasn't been in 20 years.
And just hit that bell.
How dare you?
This little triangle.
How dare you?
But there's so much more, and I feel like I'm going to watch 90% of what they talked about. That's awesome, dude. I totally agree. There's a lot of cool stuff that I'm excited
I'm so
for.
excited.
Salty Bob just didn't understand the prompt. Says you're all crazy and need to listen to Andy. Nirvana the band, the show is one of the funniest shows I've ever come across.
Did you talk
in a
about
long
Nirvana
time.
the band, the show
Yeah,
at
I
all?
talk about it a lot.
Okay.
Here's the thing about Andy. Okay.
Such a cool concept on
It's-
the way their work around copyright infringement to get pop culture references in the show is a work of genius. Would 100% recommend it. What do we like about Andy?
Here's the thing about Andy
Yeah?
is we all love Andy, right? We can all agree that Andy's probably the best of us.
Definitely not.
He's an innocent, beautiful
I don't
little boy,
respect him at all.
and we love him. What he thinks is funny, I think the reason why he
Terrible.
works so well, especially with me on KFAF, is because My idea of what's funny is like stuff that's actually really funny. His idea of what's funny is just not good. But I think that mix is really where you get the magic of KFA. It's not his fault. It's just maybe I don't know.
Are you saying
to be
you
clear,
carry
that
KFF?
Andy likes Neurotic in the show, and you like the Heat.
Oh, she got you. She got you, you old man.
That is exactly what I'm saying, Joey. The Heat, arguably top 5 funniest movies ever made.
God,
That's
it's
it.
Ever made. You're going with ever made. What a
it's
Maybe top 50. Maybe top 50. I'm backpedaling
it's so
on that.
funny that like that
Backpedaling.
makes me want to watch it, and it's like I know it shouldn't.
I honestly think you might. If you watch it with the right mindset, if you
think I
go
might
after a
enjoy
good
it too,
day, I
yeah.
think you'll think it's fucking hilarious.
Also,
It's a
Josh
dumb movie.
McCouga, he actually has good opinions. You know,
He does.
Does he?
he recommended Peanut Butter Falcon,
That's
and I
true.
can't stop talking about it.
Yep.
It's true.
Great movie.
All right, next we have Danny Almonds. He put in parentheses. I don't know.
Might
Maybe
be his,
is he
like-
that's his handle. You think?
I have no
There's no
idea.
ad symbol. Maybe it's pronounced Danny Almonds. I don't know. D23 blew massive chunks of awesome into my face. I should not be this excited for a Christmas movie starring Anna Kendrick and Bill Hader, but
More Bill
alas,
Hader.
I am. Between the exclusive Disney Plus shows, I believe D23 was perfect. Bring on November 12th. I think he's right.
You're so
I'm so
close.
excited for this movie.
You're so
Yeah.
close.
All right, next week's bronze tier topic, something like that.
Sure.
TIFF is happening. The Toronto International Film
Oh, that's so
Festival
fun.
is this weekend. And I want you to look around, see if there's any good trailers that we should be watching. Let us know in there. Also, have you ever been to a film festival? If so, tell me about your experience. Should we start going to them?
Definitely.
That feels like that's something that would be fun.
Tiff
you
is
know?
a blast. Rohrbeck goes, and he's probably there right now.
He
right?
is.
We
His
should,
fiance.
we should have the
I think works for
Rohrbeck
TIFF.
Minute next week because he watches like every
He's
movie
been.
humanly
I was
possible
telling
when he goes
Kevin
there.
he watched 5 movies yesterday and has like another 5 on his
Dude, that
schedule
sounds
for
like so
today.
much fun. I would
Yeah.
love to do that.
I bonded with him real hard when we what city were we in?
Toronto, probably.
No, it
No,
wasn't
Kansas?
Toronto. It was Kansas City. No,
He was at EGLX last year.
Nebraska?
it was EJLX last year. We did a little meet and greet, I think, and he was talking. He was like, "I saw this movie, this movie, this movie." I was like, "God, you fucking great. That's a great life, man." I've
Yeah.
always wanted to go to TIFF. I've always wanted to go into the bigger film festivals.
Let's
I've just
go
never,
next
I just
year.
never had a reason to because it's like you got to take a whole week off your life and do it. But I do. You know what I want to do?
Mm-hmm.
I want to go to Sundance when it's snowy out, and I want to dress like Jim Carrey did in Dumb and Dumber, where he's got like all
I
the
don't like
tassels and like the big like Western style.
Why
and the
would you
hat.
do that? Why?
Hilarious.
Okay.
Like leggings,
Uh-huh.
Uggs, tassels. And I go and people go, that's a guy who knows how to make a statement. Does he have a movie at this place? And I go, no, I'm not talented enough to do that. I had a movie that went to
Yeah,
film festivals.
what's the statement?
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. All right. Good enough. Good enough.
Yeah.
Can you keep just putting movies in, or do they have to be made that year?
It has to be made that year. And normally, and this was
Can you do
actually
a different cut of it?
one of the reasons why we couldn't get Waiting for the Punchline into TIFF was because we'd already screened it as well. So not that they would have accepted it, but they were like, you're excluded because it's already had a public screening.
That's a
so you have to
bummer.
they're very selective, especially the big ones like TIFF.
Interesting. Let's go next year.
I'd be 100% down.
Let's go hang out with Matt.
Thank you so much for joining us this week on Content. I hope everyone enjoyed their screencast. I am Kevin Cole, and you can follow me at Kind of Funny Kevin. You can follow Nick at Nick underscore Scarpino.
Underscore your life with a little Nick.
You can Jesus Christ, the nose thing really made me uncomfortable. Oh man,
What are you doing?
All right, you can also follow Joey. He's a
We
cat.
have to use those.
You can follow Joey at Joey Noel on all of the social medias. Go and watch a movie. I recommend it.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to watch it, still watch Peanut Butter Falcon. Watch both. They're great. Now cut the lights. We're done.